Hey guys, it's Siobhan with 2Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the November monthly readings for your zodiac sign. I will leave the links in the description box as well as pinned in the comments below. I recommend that you check out your sun, moon, and rising. And I also recommend that you watch these readings again at the end of the month to see how the energy was actually applied literally into your life, and that can help you better interpret them going forward. Also, I would like to quickly mention that I have just launched my first website ever. I built it myself and it's been a long time coming, so you can check it out at www.2kittyandbeyond.com. I'm really proud of myself for breaking through the ADHD barrier of sitting down and doing something that is complicated and requires a lot of focus. So thank you guys for your support, for checking it out. You can now book online. You can see my services. Some of the prices and times have been updated, just so you guys know. Specifically for those of you who have worked with me before, you will see things a little bit different now, but it's a lot easier to book, to confirm, and we're going to be doing it all through Zoom as well. So thank you so much, you guys, for your support, for your understanding, and for your continued viewership here on my channel. So let's go ahead and jump into the readings. We're going to start off with Aries. Hi Aries, welcome to your November monthly reading. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the energies that you could be working with this month. So what is the overall energy that Aries is going to be working with in the month of November? You guys have two cards, the Five of Cups and the Devil. I've heard a lot of astrology around November and how it's going to be really difficult or challenging in some big ways for all of the signs. There's a big Uranus transit, which is going to be bringing in a lot of unexpected shifts and changes. Some of them may be a little more challenging to break free from. So this is something that you guys might be working with when it comes to grief and limiting ways of doing things that are a little bit disempowering to you. So we'll take a look more in a minute, but first let's get the advice, or sorry, I skipped ahead. Let's get the obstacle to overcome for you guys in November. What is the obstacle for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for the month of November 2021? Oh, I like that. You guys have the Queen of Cups. So using your emotional fortitude, groundedness, maybe even consulting with somebody who has those qualities that you're seeking to help you get through something that's emotionally challenging this month. What is the advice from Spirit for the month of November for my beautiful Aries? Six of Wands in the upright position, and you have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. And lastly, what is the potential outcome? So this is just potential. None of these energies are set in stone. Everything is governed by your free will and your personal destiny, which is basically what you've written into your contract at soul level prior to incarnation. You have three cards in your potential energy outcome. So you have the Two of Cups, you have the Temperance card, and you have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So you guys, you have a lot of cards coming out from a 4-card spread. You guys have 2, 4, 6, 8 cards. So this is a lot of energy, right? Spirit would not bring these cards forward if they were not relevant. So the overall energy that you guys are working with in the month of November is a little bit of a tricky energy. The Devil card and the Five of Cups really speaks to me of you guys struggling a little bit with your emotional capacity. There may be some unhealthy habits that you may tend to gravitate towards when you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, burdened, or you're just not knowing how to cope in a healthy way with what you're experiencing emotionally. This could be a big focus on the past as well. The Five of Cups can speak to perspective. So looking at the past and things that were lost, things that didn't work out, things that you are still grieving. And allowing yourself to grieve is part of the process of empowerment. If you don't allow yourself to feel the emotions that you have, what can happen is that those emotions then get stored in the energy body. I see this all the time in clients when I do energy work, specifically the Reiki sessions. there's energy that can stagnate, and it actually is perceptible. Like, I can see that energy stuck in the energy body, not just the deficits that you're experiencing because of that blockage. It looks like condensed smoke in the energy body. It's like smog, and then it condenses and condenses and condenses until I've seen people who have had emotional content or energy build up over years, and it starts to look like mud or stone, like it gets denser. So this is something you definitely want to deal with as it arises. Now, again, that devil energy is making it a little bit more difficult to do that, because it's saying, you know, this is difficult, it's not comfortable, let's go watch a movie instead, let's go drink instead, let's go eat a bunch of food to cope with the overwhelming emotional content that is brimming just under the surface. It's like stress, anxiety, overwhelm, grief, fear, all of these things that are really emotionally taxing to you. But the thing is that I love, and a lot of readers will point this out, is that in the Five of Cups, you also have the Two of Cups right behind this individual. So instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you've lost or what didn't work out, allow yourself to grieve that. Yes, definitely. But then what is grief really but love with no place to go? And this love, that Two of Cups, is still there. It just needs to be directed appropriately. And that's where that Devil card is kind of asking you to step more fully into your power when it comes to directing your emotions, which means paying attention to what you're feeling, which means being open to what these emotions are actually trying to tell you, because emotions are not random. There's always a purpose. There's always a reason why they're there. They need to be understood. And to do that, we need to be open to actually feeling them and interpreting them. If you struggle with this, the obstacle this month is a little bit, you know, the Queen of Cups. So struggling with this emotional maturity, this groundedness, to be able to actually sit there, feel what you're feeling, and interpret it a little bit both rationally and creatively, right? Because emotions tend to be very symbolic in nature. They're not linear, but when you understand the symbolism, you can start to bring in the linear mind to interpret them appropriately. So this is what the Queen of Cups is really good at. Now, this is in the obstacle position. This is the challenge to overcome in November. So Aries, you guys might be struggling with getting to that emotionally grounded place where you can feel what you're feeling, assess what it's trying to tell you, and then act appropriately. So this is the challenge this month. However, the advice that you have from Spirit is the Six of Wands, which means that you will be successful. That whatever that you are kind of battling with right now, you will come out a winner. So it's not that you need to win against your emotions, it's more so you will just be successful in getting something that is chaotic to work in a way that is cohesive and more understandable and can actually help you to build. And you guys will deserve a pat on the back at the end of this month, because it's not going to be easy, I can tell you that much. But it will be worth it in the long run. The King of Pentacles here in the reverse position is kind of let go of some of the more physical aspects here. Get really in touch with the non-physical, the shadow realm, the unseen, behind the veil. This is what you guys are kind of working with this month, instead of being so focused on what you can physically see, touch, and interact with, especially as it relates to emotions and how those are evoked, or how you respond to those emotions that are triggered in regards to situations that are purely physical. The potential energy outcome that you guys have for the month of November is the Two of Cups, the Temperance card, and the Two of Pentacles reversed. So again, I feel like this is about finding balance between your emotions and some of the more physical aspects of your reality, like the things that you do on a daily basis, your money, your security when it comes to your home, your family. Your sense of groundedness is what I'm really picking up on for you guys. And it's going to be really necessary for you guys to be both grounded, but also connected to those upper realms, the emotional body, the mental body, but mostly the emotional body this month. So this is where that Two of Pentacles comes in. It's asking you to find balance between these things, because they're a little bit out of whack, or they've been a little bit out of whack. And so this month you have the opportunity to potentially work in a cooperative way, I want to say. It's like cooperating with yourself, potentially even cooperating with another person as well, because you do have that Two of Cups here, and that did come up in the Five of Cups energy. So you might be grieving a relationship from the past that didn't work out. It could have been a situation where there was a lot of attachment, or there was this sense of, I cannot live without this person, and so there's grief around that. The Devil card again might have you wanting to cope with that in an unhealthy way, but this Two of Pentacles, or sorry, well, we did have the Two of Pentacles, but the Two of Cups in the outcome position is indicating that you will step into a place where love can flourish, blossom, and grow. And it's just about allowing that to take place by addressing the emotions that are blocking you from fully showing up in the relationships that you do have, or for potentially new relationships that are wanting to come in energetically, but are a little bit on standstill or in a holding pattern because you haven't fully dealt with the emotions from relationships in the past, you know, recent or otherwise. So the Temperance card, I really get the feeling that this is asking you to work with this energy in a very balanced type of way. Like I said, that Two of Pentacles is about balance. The Temperance card is also about balance, but it speaks to patience. So it's having patience with the process of finding balance. It's a little bit of trial and error. It's working with theories, right? Okay, what is going to work here? I'll try that. It didn't really work. Let's try something else. Let's test a new theory. Let's see if this emotion is connected to this situation or to this person, and what is that really stemming from? That kind of thing. So it's a little bit of trial and error, and this is where working with somebody who has this kind of information, or who can shed light onto some of the blind spots that you may be experiencing when it comes to your emotional body, your emotional realm, and the interpretation therein, that can be really beneficial as well. So you might want to seek somebody who holds this Queen of Cups energy, somebody who's very connected to their emotions, somebody who's empathic but has clear boundaries. They're very stable, very grounded, and yet very connected to emotions. They understand them. This could be a counselor, this could be a reader, this could be a spiritual healer, as the Queen of Cups does tend to be quite psychic in nature, just very naturally. Whether they are intuitive in how they counsel or how they advise or how they support and nurture you, or whether they are quite literally spiritual mediums of some description. So this is something that could help you, because this is what you're trying to awaken within yourself. And if you are not sure how to do that, reaching out to somebody who embodies those traits can be beneficial, and it can trigger that within you. It can catalyze that within you, to awaken to this new era of balance, patience, and alchemy. I heard the word alchemy really loudly as I was just about to finish my sentence. So you are alchemizing some of these lower vibrational emotions into higher. You're taking grief and turning it into productive love that you can apply to yourself and others. You're taking fear and turning it into courage. You're taking anger and turning it into liberation. So there's this element of alchemy, and I think that's so appropriate because November is predominantly in the Scorpio energy, and one of the Scorpio traits is the phoenix, which is rising from the ashes. It's being reborn and renewed. It's also associated with the eagle, which is another aspect of that, where you're seeing things more clearly, you're able to fly up to higher heights, and in that you're reborn. You're able to kind of disconnect a little bit from the more heavy energies, but you're not doing it in a way that is escapist. You're doing it in a way that is very practical, realistic, and at the same time transcendent. Yeah. All right, Aries, let's grab one final card for you guys from the Angel Oracle, and we'll see what's coming up for you guys in November. Any final closing messages for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for November 2021? Okay, you guys have the Ask card. So it says, ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We're governed by many universal laws, and among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request. So Aries, the angels are asking you to ask them. they're asking you to ask them for support, guidance, and healing. And this is what that Queen of Cups is really about. So if it's not a physical person outside of you, you can connect to the support from your guides, from your angels, from your higher self, whomever you are connected to. So reach out. And what that can look like is quite literally in your mind or out loud, asking for help. Surrender to the need for help. Be open to receiving the support in whatever form it might take. And that could come in a very sort of intuitive nudge that you get, or a synchronicity that shows up for you to kind of direct you. It feels very divinely guided. So follow that, trust that, allow yourself to move through that with grace. All right, that is what I have for you this month. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys would like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at 2kittyandbeyond. And if you're looking to book any of my services, click the link in the description box below to my new website. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next month. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to your November 2021 monthly reading. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever drew you to this particular reading. So let's go ahead and jump into your cards. We're going to start off with the overall energy that you guys are working with in the month of November. Just take what resonates. Remember that these are general readings. Okay, so for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in the month of November 2021, the overall energy you guys have is the Two of Swords. Okay, what is the obstacle to overcome this month, or the potential challenge that my Taurians will be working with? You guys have the Ace of Swords. Okay, lots of swords energy. You guys are up in your minds this month. What is the advice and guidance from Spirit for Taurus in the month of November? Advice and guidance, please, for Taurus. Oh my God, Taurus. You guys have more swords. You got the Three of Swords as well. So lots of mental energy. What is going on, you guys? What is the potential energy outcome? Now keep in mind that nothing is set in stone. These are just potentials. You get to choose based on your free will how you work with this energy, and therefore the result at the end of the month and moving forward. So what is the potential energy for Taurus in November? All swords, you guys. You got all swords. I am blown away by this. Like, what? Five of Swords as the potential energy outcome. So you guys literally have all swords in your reading. Swords are the mental realm. This is the mind, thought. Can also be communication. So the overall energy you guys are working with in the month of November is the Two of Swords. So you guys are kind of weighing something up. It feels like you're unsure about something. There may be confusion there. You're not necessarily trusting your gut is what I'm feeling. It's like there's something in the emotional realm that is blocking this. Okay, so I want to mention that intuition can be confused with a trauma response. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you've been through something that is really painful at the emotional level, if you've been through any kind of abuse, psychological, physical, emotional, it can be really difficult to differentiate and discern between what is an emotional trigger or reaction and what is your intuition trying to guide you. Now, the difference is that your triggers and emotional reactions will often come from a place of fear, and it will feel like a gut instinct. But it's not. It's actually your nervous system responding to something that feels or looks similar to what happened in the past as it relates to something that was traumatic for you or that was painful in some way. Whereas your intuition will be very peaceful. It will come through in a very quiet but very sure kind of way. And then your ego can step in as the intuition might govern you to do something that is a little bit out of your comfort zone or will require you to take a leap of faith in some way. The ego can come in and start to doubt that and rationalize it and talk you out of it. So I feel like this is kind of what you guys are working with in the month of November. There's a lot of kind of back and forth between your mind and your emotions and your higher self. It's like there's three kind of people that are talking, but it's really kind of like two. It's your mind and your emotions versus your higher self. And the mind seems to be winning. the mind here it can be a great asset when you use it in balance with other aspects that we're talking about here, like your intuition, your gut instinct, your emotional responses. You can interpret and analyze those things accurately and act on them in a way that is in alignment for you. The issue here, I feel, for you guys is that there's a lack of clarity around what is what. So like I said, you guys are it feels like you're getting confused a little bit in the month of November with what option is actually aligned with you. There could be some doubt. There could be, like I said, things from the past that are coming up that are challenging you to feel confident in the options that you have or the choices that are being presented to you, because it does feel like you have a choice here. There's something that you're just not sure about, though. Now, the obstacle you guys have to overcome this month, and I always look at obstacles as opportunities for growth, is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is a beautiful energy of new beginnings, clarity of thought, justice, and epiphanies. This is something where it's like the veil is moved to the side and you can actually see what is there instead of just the shadow of it. And that shadow could evoke fear. It could evoke things from the past that were painful. It can really start to play tricks on you mentally. And that's what I feel like. It's like you guys are kind of facing something in November that is playing some mental tricks on you. So you want to be very mindful of this energy as you move through November, and be aware that you do have access to clarity. You can trust the information that comes through to you. And it's like, I just saw somebody asking for a sign and then getting a sign and then going, well, that wasn't a sign. I need another one to confirm. And I know I've been guilty of doing this myself, but it's part of that growth and learning to trust your guidance that you receive, because it's all coming from you. Your guides, your higher self, your angels, these are all versions of you that you're working with, and you want what's best for you, because the highest version of you, loves you unconditionally. So this is something that you can trust, and it's just a process of learning how to do that, and not allowing some of that pain and that heartache and that betrayal from the past to influence the trust that you have for yourself. So I feel like this is actually a really good example. It's like if you've been gaslit in the past, if you've been made to think that you were wrong and that you were crazy when somebody else was actually doing something that was abusive or lying to you or betraying you in some way, this can really mess with your internal radar for what is accurate and what is not. It can also really decrease your self-trust, because oftentimes we internalize other people's actions as a personal failing or deficit. That can lead to a lot of shame. And you don't deserve to feel that. You don't deserve to carry around that shame for somebody else's poor behavior and treatment of you. You didn't deserve that treatment in the first place. And you can trust yourself. It's just a process of learning how to do that. And this Three of Swords energy is kind of asking you to go into this heartache, this pain, this trauma, these wounds that are still there. They're either fresh or they've been there for so long, but they're still open. They're still tender. Because until you dress them, and I meant dress, not address, until you dress those wounds, right? Until you actually give them the time and energy that they deserve, they can't heal. If you just keep pushing them away and doubting yourself and further inflicting pain upon yourself because of that initial shame or that pain, it's going to exacerbate and perpetuate that cycle. It's going to continue, and you're going to continue to struggle with trusting yourself, to struggle with making decisions. So if you find yourself being indecisive this month, I would advise you to go within. So it's rebuilding that trust. Trust can be lost, and it can also be rebuilt. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice, and it takes consistency. That is the most important thing when we're learning to trust ourselves again. It's consistency of action. It's proving to yourself that you can trust yourself by doing daily things that build that trust up. Even if it's as small as sticking to something that you've set for yourself that you want to accomplish, or as small as not beating yourself up for not accomplishing that task. It can even be taking a leap of faith and choosing something and trusting that even if it's not the most aligned choice, doesn't mean that that's a failing. It just means that you have an opportunity to then learn something and course correct. So any mistake that you make is ultimately building your growth. So it's not something to be feared. It's actually something to embrace. I don't mean go out there and willy-nilly make mistakes for the sake of growth, but it's part of being human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to choose things that aren't the best for us. It's part of how we learn. We just gain experience, and that wisdom that we gain from those experiences is what we can use to then build trust and use discernment in the future going forward. So this is the overall energy that you guys are kind of working with this month. It's a lot of kind of self-doubt, lack of clarity, emotional things from the past still mentally kind of haunting you and influencing your ability to make the choice that you know was actually going to be best for you. So yes, weigh up your options, definitely. Write a pros and cons list. Do what you need to do. Ask for guidance, but always come back to what feels right for you. What feels the most empowering and what feels disempowering? Does it feel constricting? Is there fear connected to it? Is there a sense of obligation? Is there anything that it feels heavy? That may not be the best course of action unless, of course, it's something that's going to align with your higher expression, that's going to bring you empowerment down the line. So this is where it gets a little confusing. Having counseling directly around this would be beneficial if you guys need support with that. I've got my website up and running. You can click the link in my bio and check out my services that I offer to help you get some clarity around this issue, because sometimes when we don't see clearly, it can be really hard to get that clarity. It's like, if you're not seeing it clearly, well, how do you get that? Well, there's many different ways. You can ask for support from your angels to give you a clear sign that this is what it is, and then it's up to you to trust that. You can also ask for guidance outside of yourself from a teacher, a counselor, somebody who is a mentor to you, or somebody whom you trust, who can help you to kind of shed light on an area that may have been a little bit distorted because of some of these past situations, wounds. You're kind of seeing it through that lens, and so it can be really difficult to see what's actually there because of that. And so having somebody else give you their perspective can assist you, especially if it's somebody who's trained to do that, can assist you in gaining that clarity, kind of seeing that blind spot of yours that you might be having and overlooking. The final energy that you guys have here is the potential energy or the outcome. Now again, this is malleable, this is changeable. You guys get to choose how you interact with this energy and what you create out of it. The Five of Swords is kind of like you guys are, some of you anyway, maybe kind of trying to take the high ground, but you find yourself reacting from that place of woundedness or being triggered and feeling like you need to win at all costs. So Taurus, it feels like you guys are, this month, you're kind of struggling to find balance in how you communicate or what decisions you're making. And you may find that you respond or you react to certain situations or confrontations with other people in a way that is reminiscent of what you've experienced in the past, or as defense mechanisms from what you've experienced in the past. The Five of Swords has both the Two of Swords and the Three of Swords present, so you can see how these cards are all connected in your reading. There's two swords on the ground. That's being able to weigh things up rationally, logically, to be a fair judge and communicator in what it is that you're trying to express. And those are left on the ground here in the Five of Swords. So those attempts at rationality and analytical thinking and communicating have been abandoned. Instead, you're using the Five of Swords, or these three swords here, which are connected to the Three of Swords, which is from a place of woundedness. So this doesn't have to be the outcome. I think they're bringing this up as a way to kind of show you what responding from that wounded place and that lack of clarity can result in. And the Five of Swords is a very sort of, I have to win to be right type of energy. It's not, I'm here to have this conversation to understand you or to be understood. It's more so, I'm here to try and feel superior as a way to protect myself, or as a way to defend the wound underneath that I feel that this other person might be triggering. So that's what that Five of Swords energy can kind of bring up. Now, again, the best way to work with this energy in the highest expression is to bring awareness to those wounds in the first place, so that if you do catch yourself responding that way when you're triggered, you know consciously and rationally that this is a triggered response. And it can be difficult to kind of work with that rationally in the moment, because when you're triggered, your frontal lobe starts to shut down, your nervous system goes into fight or flight, and you're more likely to respond irrationally or more so emotionally. But you have a lot of mental energy here prior to this. If you learn what these patterns can look like and how to respond to yourself in a way that will kind of limit or reduce some of that reactivity from that wounded place, it can be really beneficial for you. It can create a lot more balance, a lot more harmony in how you connect with others and how you connect with yourself, most importantly. So clarity of thought is going to be a huge theme for you guys in November. All right, so let's get a final oracle card for Taurus in the month of November 2021. You have two that just hopped out of the deck. You have Cupid and Go For It. Okay, so Cupid says we send great waves of love into your heart and mind, awakening your love for life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all of its glorious forms and aspects. So Cupid is here to kind of, I feel like, heal some of this heartbreak, betrayal, and pain from the past that has been kind of lingering around. So trust that there is love that is more unconditional than what you've experienced. Trust that there is healing as it relates to a broken heart and your ability to see things clearly. And Cupid is here to help you do that, whether or not this is somebody who's coming into your life to represent that Cupid energy, or whether you're activating that love within yourself to help you to heal some of these wounds from the past that are continuing to impact how you connect to others. You also have the Go For It card. So your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. We've been working with you on this situation since its genesis, and we continue to watch over you and everyone involved. Stay on your present path, as it will take you very far indeed. So this energy will take you far into yourself and therefore connect you with other people, because as I always say, the relationship you have with yourself is a direct reflection of the types and the quality of relationships that you're going to have with other people. If you don't trust yourself, you're going to find yourself in situations where the person you're with can't be trusted. Now, this is not a hard and fast rule. You can most certainly attract people whom you trust if you don't trust yourself, but you might not trust yourself enough to trust them. And there can be self-sabotage mechanisms there. So that can be part of this as well. All right, guys. So I hope that this helped. Use this guidance how you see fit. Always trust your inner knowing. This is the whole point of this reading. And for this month, it's going to be about trusting what you feel is right for you and getting to the kind of root of everything, getting to the clarity of the issue here to help you to heal some heart stuff and move forward from there in a much more balanced way. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the reading, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stick around and see more, and check out my website, www.2kittyandbeyond.com, as well as Instagram. Follow me over there at 2kittyandbeyond. Much love, guys, and we'll see you next month. Bye. All right, hi Gemini, welcome to your November monthly reading. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever drew you here to this reading. Keep in mind, these are general, so just take what resonates. Okay, Gemini, let's take a look at the overall energy that's influencing you for the month of November. 3 cards. Okay, so we have the Justice card, we have the King of Swords reversed, and we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, and let's take a look at the obstacle that you guys might be working with this month, or you might face in the month of November. For Gemini, you have the Strength card reversed. And what is the advice and guidance from Spirit? Let's take a look at that. Queen of Cups. And what is the potential outcome? Keep in mind that potential energies are just potentials. You get to work with them as you see fit. They are not set in stone. The potential outcome you have is the Five of Wands. Okay, so this is an interesting theme that I'm seeing in the readings for November already. November's energy is a little bit more of a challenging type of energy. Astrologically speaking, there's a lot going on. And the outcomes have been a little bit more conflicting and chaotic than we're used to. So the outcome energy, so for the overall sort of November and how that may result, it can feel a little bit chaotic. There can be a little bit of competition or aggression or just a lot of things happening at once, too many cooks in the kitchen type of energy. It feels like this is kind of connected to the overall that we're seeing here with the Justice, the King of Swords reversed, and the Seven of Cups. This kind of feels a little bit like what I was seeing in the Taurus reading, where there's like a lack of clarity of thought. You're not seeing something clearly, or you're trying to weigh something up in a very fair and sort of impartial way, but instead there's some biases that are kind of coming into play and obstructing you from seeing things clearly. So if you have Taurus in your chart and your top three, that could be a double message for you to pay attention to, but for other Geminis, it still applies. So this energy feels very much like confusion around what is the right course of action when it comes to seeing things clearly and acting on those clear thoughts. So the Justice card is here to help you to see things more clearly, to weigh things up fairly, to get to the justice of the situation and what is most fair, what is most equitable. And this King of Swords energy is like, well, I don't necessarily see what is clear here when it comes to justice or when it comes to fairness. There's some kind of an injustice that's occurring, or I'm not seeing what the rules are clearly, and so I can't really determine what is fair. Or you're just not willing to act on it because there's a lot of confusion around it. So for example, what they're showing me in my mind's eye is like company policy. Okay, so for example, say that there's a company policy that is a little bit confusing and the wording is not clear, and it's meant to create balance and fairness within the corporation or within the organization or whatever it is, but your way of interpreting it is not exactly what it was intended for. And so there's confusion around, well, why isn't this working? Well, it's because it's being interpreted a little bit just in a distorted fashion. So that obviously doesn't have to apply just to corporations. This is just the metaphor that I'm seeing. Whereas there's opportunity within this lack of clarity to actually gain a lot of clarity around what this distortion is. So it's like, yeah, you're not necessarily seeing something clearly when it comes to a rule that's been set forth. But in that lack of clarity, you're going to be curious and you're going to seek answers because you can see clearly in practice and in action that something isn't working. So pay attention to what that is. If you're seeing something show up in your life that is creating conflict or contributing to conflict that needs to be resolved, look to those systems and structures that are in place that might be contributing or exacerbating any kind of dysfunction. Now, the obstacle you guys have this month is the Strength card reversed. So this is, the obstacle might be to exert that strength, like set a boundary, communicate clearly what it is that is fair or what you deem to be fair for you or for other people. It can feel like you don't have a voice is what I'm hearing. It's like there's this lack of confidence to really stand up for what you believe in, even if it goes kind of against the status quo or what the rules actually might say. So there's opportunity for justice here. There's opportunity for liberation. There's opportunity for more freedom, but it does require you to kind of step outside of your comfort zone and take action in a more observable way when it comes to something that you're passionate about, but you've kind of been repressing or keeping it within because there might be contradictory beliefs or contradictory opinions or contradictory ways of doing things. The advice and guidance from Spirit is the Queen of Cups. So to get to the heart of this matter is to go through the heart, right? So the Queen of Cups is speaking about getting connected with your compassion, with your understanding. And if you're not seeing something clearly at the mental level, then go from the emotional level, go from the intuition, go from the more transcendent qualities that you can still access information through, like your intuition, your higher self, your psychic abilities, that kind of thing. That can be something that can help you to gain clarity around this situation, whatever it might be, and also to help you to build up some of that strength that you might be a little bit lacking this month. It's not that it's not there, it's just that it's kind of hidden or it's obscured in some way. And there's that lack of clarity is kind of coming from that. It's like a lack of confidence. And so if you don't trust yourself, then it's going to be a lot harder to determine what is right for you. So that was something that we talked about extensively in the Taurus reading. Even if you're not Taurus, if you're curious about that, I would advise to go back and watch it. This Queen of Cups energy can also be somebody who's providing you with clarity or insight. This could be an angel, a guide, your higher self. This could be a practitioner of a spiritual nature, a reader, a diviner, somebody who just gives very sage and wise advice, somebody whom you can go to for compassionate understanding, healing, and clarity that will come from that. It can also be a counselor, a therapist, somebody who holds space for you in a sacred way that keeps you feeling safe so you can be vulnerable even when you're feeling more vulnerable than normal, because that's what I'm feeling here for November. You guys might feel a little bit more vulnerable than normal, and so you're less willing to sort of step up into the spotlight or to take action or to take risks. So the advice is to trust your heart, trust what is guiding you. It doesn't really matter what anybody else is doing, just focus on you. And if you need somebody to help you do that, then reaching out to them and receiving the support in that way can be really beneficial. The potential outcome you guys have is the Five of Wands. This is a chaotic type of energy, and there's conflicting opinions, there's conflicting ways of wanting to do something. It's like if you're trying to build a house and there's 5 different carpenters and they all have a different way of doing things. Each one of them individually might be correct. It can build a really beautiful house, but if you try to use all of those ways of doing things in one fell swoop on one project, it's not going to work. So this is where that fairness, that balance, that equity is kind of coming into play. It's like, how is this coming up within your relationships? This could be in your romantic relationships, because we do have emotional sort of things happening here this month for you, but it could also be in your work environment, your colleagues, your coworkers, your clients, anything, any kind of relationship that you have where there needs to be this very clearly defined way of doing things and a balance of power, right? There needs to be equity within those relationships. There needs to be fairness. There needs to be clear communication. There needs to be mutual support. And if that's not happening, that can lead to chaos, dysfunction, conflict, that kind of thing, which is what that Five of Wands is representing. On the plus side, I do see the Five of Wands as kind of like, if you're using it in the higher expression, because every energy has both a negative polarity and a positive polarity, and we can fall somewhere, on that, depending on how we express. But the Five of Wands can also indicate kind of competition that is healthy in a sense. It's like maybe it's 5 different people building a house in 5 different ways. If they all have their own house to work on, it can really inspire, this like healthy competition. Like it can be a motivating factor in you doing your best work, right? So if you're looking at other people and comparing yourselves to them, and that's keeping you in a state of disempowerment or lack of confidence and doubting yourself, then that's not the highest expression of this energy. If you're feeling a lack that comes from that sense of competition, then that's the lower vibration of this. The higher vibration is inspiration. It's looking at what other people are doing and seeing that as kind of like what you want to achieve and how you can get there. It can really inspire you to problem solve and to get creative on how you can make something that's authentic to you and at the same time comparable to what it is that you're trying to accomplish or what other people are trying to accomplish, if that makes sense. So overall, the energy this month is feeling a little bit kind of all over the place, but if you can really get grounded in your compassion for yourself and for other people and to see things from that overview of equity rather than of an imbalance of power or an injustice of some kind, and kind of problem solve to get to that place of mutual inspiration, mutual collaboration, and building from there, it can be really, really beneficial for you guys this month overall. So let's grab a final closing card from the Oracle deck here. Let's get some angel answers or angel guidance. Oh my God, you guys have 3. And I will take them. So you have the heart chakra, you have innocence, and you have new partner. Okay, so you have heart chakra. Love is the heart of the matter. Your heart is the center within your physical being, attuned most to love. It's safe for you to love and be loved with an open heart as we stand by with perfect protection and guidance. So yeah, the Queen of Cups is very much connected to that heart center and love in general. So there may be somebody who's representing this Queen of Cups energy who's coming into your life, male or female. It doesn't have to be one or the other, as this is we all have both polarities within us, but it's somebody who really represents this very unconditional, very nurturing type of love where they're able to hold sacred space for you. And this could be something that you are working with this month to help you within these types of relationships that might be a little bit more confusing or chaotic. And in doing that, it's invoking a lot of innocence. So innocence, beloved one, everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger, or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. So this is evoking a really nice sort of tranquil feeling. I'm feeling this energy kind of overtake me right now. It feels very peaceful, very quiet, very connected. There's this innocence that you guys have on the table this month, and how you choose to work with this is up to you. If you do, it can lead to a really healthy relationship with a partner or a potential new partner if you're currently looking for one, either in business or in romance. The new partner card says, a chance meeting is no mistake. It is divinely orchestrated as a catalyst to set the wheels in motion for the fruition of your prayers. Pay careful attention to new people we send into your life. You will recognize them by your sense of familiarity, comfort, and safety. So again, there could be somebody showing up here embodying some of those traits of comfort, safety, love, sacred space, very open heart, very emotionally connective and connected. And this could be evoking that within you, or this could be you evoking that within yourself and then attracting that person to you. So keep your eye out for fated meetings, connections, and people who cross your path this month who are there to support you through some of the more challenging aspects of the conflict or the confusion or the lack of clarity. So there will be support here from the universe in the form of real earth angels who are coming to you. So thanks so much for watching, guys. That's what I have for you in the month of November. Don't forget to like the video if you benefited from this reading, or if you just like to support me, I really appreciate it. And check out the description box to my website if you're interested in any of my services. We'll see you next month, Gemini. Thanks so much. Bye. All right, hi Cancer, welcome to your November monthly reading. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever drew you here to this reading. Let's go ahead and jump in with the overall energy that is influencing you in the month of November. So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what energy is the overarching or overall energy that is present in November? You guys have the Four of Cups reversed. Oh, no, sorry, they want it upright. It did come out kind of like it flipped when it came out, and I was unsure, and I took it as the way I picked it up, but as I put it down, they said it's supposed to be upright, so it's upright. Okay. And what is the obstacle for Cancer to overcome in the month of November? What is the challenge? Yeah, that is a challenging energy, the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's a little heavy, it's burdensome, it's plodding. You know, trying to get to the next destination, not seeing really clearly where you're going because of this heaviness. What is the advice and guidance from Spirit for the month of November for Cancer? It's this one here. Oh, I love that. The World card. So you got a 10 and then the World card. So you guys are closing out some pretty major cycles this month is what it's starting to look like. And what is the potential outcome energy? What is the potential outcome energy? The Three of Cups, celebration, success. You guys are doing it. Okay, so let's take a look at this from start to finish, and then we'll pull an oracle card at the end to close out the reading. So Cancer, you guys have the Four of Cups in the upright position, not the reverse. So the Four of Cups upright is kind of it's dissatisfaction, boredom. It's like being distracted a little bit from what you already have and kind of looking to things that you don't have. It's like that grass is greener type of energy. But as I always say, the grass is greener where you water it, where you take care, and looking for things outside of you to kind of fulfill that need for gratification, or in this case instant gratification, can be really detrimental because it puts you into that mentality and that experience of lack. What you focus on is what you will attract more of, or what you will experience energetically. So where focus goes, energy flows. So this energy is not something that you necessarily want to be in long term. It's okay to use this as kind of like a stepping stone or an intermediary between where you are and where you want to be. If the Four of Cups is in this dissatisfaction and boredom is inspiring you to take action and get creative and do something new, then great. But if you're stuck in this energy and you're feeling like nothing's changing and things are stagnating and you don't have what it is that you want, and you're not happy with what it is that you do have, this is where it can become a bit of an issue, because if in focusing on that energy and not taking action, it leads to more of that energy. So you get stuck in this sort of perpetuated cycle of dissatisfaction. The challenge this month is the Ten of Pentacles. So you guys are carrying a lot on your shoulders. There's a lot on your plate in November. There might be a lot of tasks that you have to deal with. There might be a lot of, I'm seeing like nitpicky kind of things, like, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, you know, things that you kind of have to, it feels like obligations, okay? That's what I'm picking up on. So Cancer, there might be some things, some challenges this month around things that you feel obligated to do, or things that other people are putting on your plate that then you, of course, feel obligated to complete or accomplish. And you don't want to do them. It's like it's nitpicky, it's very mundane, and it's not inspiring to you. And this could be somewhere where that dissatisfaction is starting to show up. So I would keep an eye out for that. Any areas where you feel obligated and uninspired. There can be some level of obligation that can still have satisfaction and inspiration within it. You know, it's like if it's something that you really want to be doing, or it's going to help you to get to what you want to be doing, then that little bit of obligation is worth it. This is more so speaking to the situations or the experiences where that obligation is not worth it. Like you're not really getting anything in return for that. And so it can lead to a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of boredom, a lot of even frustration. And this energy is very heavy. It's very dense. It kind of weighs you down and it keeps you stuck in that, because it's like you constantly keep working and taking on more in an effort to try and get out of that situation. But what you're actually doing is getting yourself deeper into it, because the more you take on, the less freedom you have, or the more obligation you experience. So this Ten of Wands is pretty major energy for you guys in the month of November. I would definitely keep an eye on how many tasks you have going at once and how each of those tasks feels to you. If you're carrying it for a very clear reason and it's connected to something that motivates you, inspires you, or lights you up in some way, then fine. But if it's something that is really kind of getting in the way of what it is that you set out to do in the first place, or what brings you joy, then it might be something that you need to reassess. It's like the Marie Kondo method. You know, if you've got so much stuff, it can be really energetically overwhelming. And so you kind of want to go through that and say, does this spark joy? If not, it's time to let it go. It's time to delegate. It's time to say no, or put that down, or whatever it is, if you can do that, right? Obviously use discernment here. You guys know what's going on in your life, and you'll see this kind of play out at whatever level it might be. So just keep an eye on that, right? But the main kind of gist of this Ten of Wands energy is to put down what is weighing you down, and it doesn't have like a really clear purpose, right? If it's extraneous, get rid of it this month, because it's not helping you to level up. It's not helping you to expand. It's not helping you to really enjoy the life that you have here. So you kind of want to reassess some of the values that kind of go behind your actions and your obligations and your responsibilities. The advice and guidance here is the World card. So the World card is the closing of a cycle. It's the ending of something pretty big here. And this is you coming full circle. So you're kind of going around back to the starting point here. But in doing so, you are achieving something. You are at this beginning phase again, but with new clarity, with more awareness, with wisdom, with experience, right? So carrying all of these things was not for nothing, because you did learn whatever you did learn from it, right? Whether it was to not do that the way that you were doing it, or you learned something from each one of those tasks. Either way, you do benefit long-term from this, because it gives you this greater sense of awareness and clarity that you might not have had you not been through that. So even being in this state of dissatisfaction and boredom is part of that journey. It's part of kind of discovering that next step and what really feels, or what feels inspiring to you, or what sparks joy. So this World card here is a completion of a major cycle that you guys are going through. This is karmic in nature. So this is to do with your actions and the results of those actions. That's what karma is. I speak a lot on karma and clearing karmic patterns in Reiki sessions and the soul realignment work that I do with the Akashic readings. And I always tell my clients, you know, karma is not a debt that needs to be paid. Karma is not something that is a judgment upon you that you need to kind of suffer through. Karma is just choice, and then the response of that choice. You know, if you take an action, there will be a result of that action. And karma is just there repeating to bring awareness to that action. As that karma repeats, it becomes much more obvious, because that cycle becomes a pattern. And with that pattern, you can start to see it from that bird's eye view. You can see the repetition, you can see how things play out, and you can better understand what is the action that I'm taking or not taking that is resulting in this pattern. That is what allows you to close it out. So the advice and guidance here is to look at the patterns in your life, to look at the bigger things, because you might have lost sight of that with that 10 of Wands energy. He's carrying so much that he can't see, right? They're all blocking his view. And so if you can't see from that bird's eye view kind of what is happening in your life, or what you've kind of gotten to that point that you're at, it can be a little bit more confusing, right? So take a step back, kind of put some of these obligations down if you can. Take some time for yourself to kind of rest, recuperate, break free from that drudgery or that routine that is keeping you in that state of dissatisfaction, and allow yourself to see that bigger picture, which is going to help you to close out this cycle in some way. And you might not be able to completely get rid of all of these obligations, but it will be helpful to kind of assess which ones take priority in your life and why. And with that, you can start to kind of differentiate between what is actually necessary and what is not. And in that, you can start to kind of take some things off your plate and free up space and energy and time for what actually does bring you joy. And in the end of the month, with the possible energetic outcome here, you have the Three of Cups, which I love for you guys, Cancer, because this is a very sort of Cancerian energy. It's connecting and bonding with those around you. It's celebrating and enjoying yourself and emotionally expressing and connecting through groups of people. Cancers, you do tend to really need that type of interconnection in a very healthy and empowering and inspiring type of way to feel safe within these connections. And the Three of Cups really speaks to me of friends, right? It's getting together with your girlfriends or your guy friends and really feeling like you belong, really feeling like they've got your back and you've got theirs. And there's this mutual sort of reciprocity when it comes to support and love and understanding. And it's also celebration. So this could be something that you are celebrating in November. This could be an event that you go to. This could be something that kind of takes you out of your shell and gets you out of that dissatisfaction and boredom. It gets you into a place of enjoying yourself again. So if there's an opportunity to kind of get out of that routine or that monotony, go for it, especially if it feels freeing, empowering, and aligned, and there's mutual support there. And if this is something connected to the celebration of the ending of this cycle, then yes, give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate, take the time to acknowledge where you've been and where you are now, and that will help to inspire you to where you're going. So let's take a look at the final closing message from the Angel Oracle, and we have time to go. Okay, Cancer. Time to go. The sun sets and rises each day, and it's the same with the avenues of your life. See the beauty within each sunset in your life, and know that the sun will also rise again tomorrow. Endings are merely the start of a new beginning, and we are with you through each phase and cycle. So the angels are telling you that some kind of a situation that has really kind of come to its close, it's come to its breaking point. There may be something that's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, and you realize it's time to go, or it's time to change what this is, or the way that it's been functioning for so long, because you're clearly not happy with it. The overall energy is dissatisfaction, boredom, and unhappiness. So that's not somewhere you want to stay indefinitely. So close that out, walk away if you need to, say no, set some boundaries, put some things down, delegate, discern, all of those things we've been talking about. Time to go is that confirmation there that yes, something needs to end. The 10 is the ending of a cycle. The world is the ending of a cycle. So something pretty major in your life may be coming to a close this month, but it's not something that is closing or ending in a fear-based type of way. It's something that you're actually relieved is over. It's like, oh, thank God I can put all of these obligations down. Oh, thank God I can kind of just start something fresh and new that's much more aligned with me, that's much more empowering, and that's going to be that cause for celebration. So thank you so much, Cancer, for watching. Much love and many blessings in November and beyond. Thanks, guys. Bye. All right, hi Libra, welcome to your November 2021 monthly reading. Let's go ahead and look at the energy that is coming through for you guys this month. Keep in mind, this is a general reading. Not everything is going to resonate with everybody. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Okay, so Libra, what is the overall energy that you guys are working with in the month of November? There it is. You have the Queen of Wands coming through as the overall energy. What is the obstacle for Libras to overcome in the month of November 2021? You've got 3 cards there. You have the Moon card in reverse. You have the Two of Swords upright and the King of Pentacles in reverse, as well as the overall obstacle, which we'll get into. So let's take a look at the advice and guidance from Spirit. You guys have the Nine of Cups as your advice and guidance, and the overall potential outcome energy. Potential outcome for Libra, you have the Page of Cups. Okay, so Libra, let's take a look a little deeper into these energies. So the overall energy that you guys have, this is the overarching energy for the month of November, is the Queen of Wands. I like this energy. It's a very sort of nurturing, creative, inspiring type of energy. This is also, I'm getting the word protective coming through pretty clearly, pretty loudly. So you might be feeling extra protective of what you've created. This could be an idea, this could be a project, this could be your territory, like your home, your family, things like that. So it does feel like there's the protective type of energy coming through for you guys in November. I also feel a lot of emotional sort of creativity. So tapping into your emotions and using those as a tool to create is also sort of highlighted in the month of November. Let's take a look at this obstacle, because there's a kind of a lot to unpack here. You have the Moon card reversed, the Two of Swords, and the King of Pentacles reversed as well. So this to me feels like there's a little bit of ungroundedness happening where there's a lack of clarity. This has been coming up as a general theme that I've seen in a couple of the readings, Taurus and Gemini. Specifically, they had readings that these cards or something similar showed up in them, and the message was basically that there was confusion, there was indecision, there was a lack of clarity that kind of stems from a lack of self-trust or things that had happened in the past. For you guys, I feel like this is more so like a subconscious thing for you, because the Moon card does represent the subconscious, the unseen realms, fears, things like that that lie below the surface or like in the shadow realm. It is in the reverse though, so I feel like you will be gaining or using some kind of clarity to bring through an awareness from below the surface, maybe in your dream time. So pay attention to your dreams. They could be particularly informative this month. So write down the symbolism, try to interpret that. What does that mean for you? Your subconscious mind will always speak to you in terms of symbols and emotions. And emotions are kind of like symbols as well. So we kind of need to unpack, what does this emotion mean? What is it connected to? Where did it come from? Why is it here? What is it trying to tell me? That's kind of the theme of this month. I feel you guys might struggle with that a little bit because this is in the, this is in the challenge position. So it's something that feels challenging to you, potentially because you feel ungrounded. So with that King of Pentacles reversed, you might be feeling a little bit sort of unstable this month is what I'm picking up on. So the Moon card, the Two of Swords, both of those, it's like you're looking for stability between the physical and the non-physical, between your mind and your life, between your emotions and your mind, between your spiritual self and your day-to-day routine kind of self. So there's this sort of dichotomy between those two is what I'm seeing here. And there may be kind of like, it feels like there's a little bit of a stalemate when it comes to which side you're going to opt for or which side you're going to choose to express. Both of them are kind of vying for your attention this month, and it's up to you which one you step into or which one you choose to focus on, because you can really only focus on one thing at a time. And as you go through the wheel of life, the cycle of life, you do need to kind of prioritize in different sort of wedges of time, if that makes sense. But for right now, you can only focus on that one thing at that one time. And it feels like there's a little bit of indecision around what you should focus on because there's this feeling of ungroundedness. So the King of Pentacles reversed is asking you to get a little bit more grounded, more stable in possibly your daily routines, with your finances, with the plans that you want to orchestrate or that you want to implement when it comes to potentially like a creative project or something that you kind of want to get off the ground. This could also be within a relationship, because we do have those two. Knight and Page of Cups are both speaking of emotional offers, emotional communication, romance, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that, but it feels like you're trying to kind of implement something. You're trying to get something off the ground, but there's an unstable foundation that's making it a little bit more challenging to do that. So that unstable foundation is not actually in the external realm, is what they're saying here with these cards. It's that it's actually internal. And your mind is trying to weigh them up. Your mind is trying to find balance there and trying to analyze very logically and analytically. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that the logical mind doesn't always see what's below the surface. It doesn't always see the intuitive aspect or the subconscious information. And that's what you need to be able to understand this instability, because it's within the Moon's realm. Right? This is the shadow realm, the unknown behind the veil. So to look into that realm is going to be really beneficial this month, because it will give you the security and the stability that you're trying to create, or at least it will bring awareness to areas where you're being thwarted in that effort. So this is the challenge for you. It's going to be something that you maybe don't want to do or that you don't feel comfortable doing, but it will benefit you going forward through the month of November and beyond. So the advice and guidance you have from Spirit is the Knight of Cups. And I love this because the Knight of Cups is like coming in, bringing you an emotional offer or emotional information or something like that. I'm also being called to mention that sometimes the Knight of Cups can indicate sort of like a long journey to get to where you want to go. And there's going to be emotional sort of, I don't know why the word tributaries is coming through. What even is a tributary? Is that like a stream or like a river or something? I'm being shown like a big sort of long meandering water, like a river or a stream. And parts of it, it's going to be really white water and you can't get through that, right? It just suck you right under and you'll get completely overwhelmed by the emotional topography of that area. But if you were to move to maybe go a little upstream or a little downstream, it can be a little easier to cross there. So metaphorically speaking, this is referring to the kind of ups and downs of your emotional state. If you're in a really low state emotionally, it can feel really overwhelming and it can create a lot of instability, and that can create sort of like this stagnancy or this inability to move forward and this overprotectiveness, because you're in a vulnerable state. Whereas if you wait until the water sort of goes down a bit and it's a little bit more calm in that area, when there's less challenges, creating less, white water sort of effects emotionally, you're better able to move forward. You're better able to kind of cross that emotional stream or that energy. So that's kind of what they're showing me here. And there's messages that are coming in for you. They're drawing my attention to the wings on his feet and on his helmet. This is reminiscent of Hermes, the messenger of the gods. So there's messages that are coming in an emotional package. So pay attention to your emotions in November and listen to what it is that they are saying to you, because again, that's where you're going to get that information that's coming from the subconscious mind. So again, pay attention to dreams, pay attention to your emotional reactivity or your triggers, pay attention to which way your intuition or your gut is guiding you and how you can work with that energy to pick the right time and space to be able to move through those emotions in a way that's going to be a bit safer for you than if you tried to kind of dive right into the depths of it and get swept away into the undertow. It feels like this month is going to be a bit challenging emotionally for you, Libra, but that being said, you do have support. The advice and guidance here is that there will be emotional support, there will be emotional messages. And if this is to do with a relationship, this could be indicating that the time to communicate with this other person or to receive communication from them is when you are feeling more emotionally grounded and stable. So again, going back to the analogy of the river, choose a place in the river to meet where there's less current, basically, and that will make things easier. The overall outcome energy that you guys have is the Page of Cups. Keep in mind that this energy is malleable. It's not set in stone. It's just a probability. And there's an indication of what you can do to work with this energy in the higher or the lower energies. And so the lower energy of the Page of Cups is a little bit of an emotional immaturity. The higher level energy of the Page of Cups is curiosity, innocence, and a willingness to open up and be vulnerable. So you get to choose which side you fall on and how you want to act with this energy. It's just there. All energy is neutral, and we get to choose how we interact and express it. With the Queen of Wands here, I get the feeling that you guys are going to be embarking on something new. The overall energy is very productive, very nurturing, and very creative. So I do get the sense that there is a lot of potential for growth in the month of November. But like I said, it's going to be a bit challenging, and it's going to be about finding the right time and place and environment to plant your seeds, right? Because you wouldn't want to plant your seeds next to a river that floods every spring, because all of your nice hard work would get wiped out. It would get drowned, So, or you don't want to put it in a place of the river where there's not enough water going through and there's a potential threat for drought at a particular time of the year. So I hope that this is making sense sort of metaphorically for you. It's like finding the right environment is going to be really important this month, and how you create that environment, not only within yourself by listening to your emotions, but also how you create an opportunity or an environment within your relationships for growth, communication, and not needing to feel quite so defensive or indecisive, where you can actually really express what it is that you're thinking and feeling in a way that's received well and is a stable foundation on which to build. So let's take a look at your oracle card for the month of November to close out the reading. So for Libra, what is the final message for November? Oh, it like stuck out sideways like that, so I'm going to take that one. It says, be honest with yourself. Okay, Libra. Look into your heart and you will know the truth of the situation. It's safe to admit the truth to yourself, for we will support and guide you through any necessary changes. Lean upon us for courage and the strength to take good care of yourself. Focus only upon your true desires and they'll come to you upon the angel's wings. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is a message from your angels to really trust yourself, to honor what it is that you're thinking and feeling. That will make it a lot easier to come to whatever decision is needed of you this month, because you do have that in that obstacle position. There's a choice that's kind of on the table here, and how you address it or what choice you make is kind of determined by how well you are able to tap into what you're actually feeling and trust the information that's coming through. All right, so be honest with yourself, Libra, and that will really help in making that decision, whatever it may be. So I hope that this helped. If you guys are interested in booking a session with me, I do Reiki, Tarot, and Akashic readings. All of the information is in the description box. You can hit the link there to go to my website and check things out. It's www.2kittyandbeyond.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at 2kittyandbeyond. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And we'll see you next month. Bye, guys. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your November monthly reading. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever called you to this reading today. This is a general, so just keep in mind that not everything will resonate with everybody. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and look into the overall energies that are impacting you in the month of November. So what is the overall energy for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in November 2021? You have the Six of Wands and the Temperance card. I like those. Good start. All right. And what is the obstacle to overcome for Sagittarius in the month of November? The obstacle or challenge. You have the Hanged Man. And what is the advice and guidance from Spirit for the month of November for Sagittarius? The advice and guidance you have is the Knight of Pentacles. The overall potential outcome energy. Nine of Cups shot out of there really quick, so that's nice. All right, Sagittarius, this is actually looking pretty good. November is not an easy month for any of the signs. There's a lot of sort of turbulence energetically and astrologically. I won't go into that here, but what we're getting for you guys is actually looking pretty good considering, and especially the past readings I've done up until this point, you know, in this overall November reading, it's like everybody's been having a lot of challenging stuff arise, and yours is actually looking pretty positive. So fingers crossed. So Sagittarius, your overall energy is coming up as the Six of Wands and the Temperance card. So these two really speak to me of success in patience. It's like you are moving forward steadily, and in doing so, you are feeling this sense of accomplishment or progress. And that steady progress that you're making is not without error, because trial and error is how we learn. It's how we optimize our experience. It's how we kind of, through process of elimination, learn what works best by learning what doesn't. And I feel that you're succeeding in some kind of a learning phase or a growth cycle, in the sense that you're feeling accomplished. Whether or not these accomplishments are showing up in the external realm will vary from person to person, but I get this sense that you will feel this sense of accomplishment at some point in the course of November. The obstacle you have, the challenge to overcome, that I always look at this challenge as an opportunity for growth as well. So the opportunity for growth you guys have this month is the Hanged Man energy. So this is a bit of a standstill. It's a holding phase or a holding pattern energetically. And so this is, it is a little bit uncomfortable to be in a position such as this, where you're a little bit in, they're showing me like an arena and you're on stage. It's like, it's uncomfortable to be in the spotlight like that. And that's not something that I normally associate with the Hangman, but that's what they're showing me. So it's like there's something that is being spotlighted, And you might actually be then getting some accolades or something outside in a physical sense. You know, people are paying attention. That's that Six of Wands energy. So that could be related to something that also feels challenging for you. It kind of might make you, it's like stage fright. It's like everybody wants it until they get up there and they're like not used to it. And it's like, oh God. So this is kind of what this hangman energy feels like for you guys. And Sagittarians, you do tend to be quite gregarious and freedom loving, and you don't mind some of that spotlight. Now that's not going to apply to everyone, but just generally speaking to the qualities of the element and, you know, fire and Sagittarius itself, which tends to like to take risks and play big, that kind of thing. But it feels like there's something here that it feels like a little bit restricting for you. It feels a little bit like it's going too fast, and so you might be kind of like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to kind of pump the brakes, so to speak, and just take a moment to, it feels like, to appreciate where I've come from, but it's really kind of like I'm scared to step up to that next level fully and embrace it and be the greatest me that I can be, or whatever it is. So yeah, this hangman energy is not giving me what it normally does. Like the hangman I usually see as like a bit of a stagnancy, or like a sacrifice that you have to make or something like that to gain enlightenment or gain awareness. For you guys, I mean, it's kind of within that wheelhouse, but it's more so this, it's almost like, I don't want to say that it's self-sabotage, because it's not self-sabotage. You're not sabotaging anything. You're still successful. You've earned this success. It's there for you. But it's more so, it's almost like you're not allowing yourself to just fully enjoy it for what it is in the moment. It's like you're trying to focus on, what else do I have to do over here? It's almost like you're testing your own patience. Yeah, it's like you're testing your own patience. It's like you've gotten so far. You've come quite a long way. And then this month, it's like you're kind of pumping the brakes a little bit. And this could be for the sake of making sure that what you're doing is aligned and that it's sustainable, but it feels slightly like an undertone of you're just kind of hesitating really going all in, because there's a bit of a fear of not making any progress at all. Which it seems counterintuitive. It's like, why would you slow down if you're scared of not making progress? I don't know. It's like a sort of subconscious mechanism type of thing. So this is very strange, and I'm trying to get a bearing on this energy, because it's not like right out in front. It's very subtle. Yeah, so, okay, let's move to the advice and encouragement from Spirit. You guys are getting the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So I think what they're saying here is it's not the time to take a break. It's not the time to kind of put the brakes on, so to speak. This is actually the time to keep pushing forward. It's the time to, yes, plan and strategize and acknowledge how far you've come, but at the same time, just keep moving forward. Slowly but surely. Because this card wanted to come out upright, but then it landed in reverse, and I took it in reverse, but as I was putting it on the table, I heard it can go upright as well, so it's like a flip-flopping type of energy. And when I see flip-flopping, it means that you're kind of displaying both sides of this energy, both the dysfunctional expression and the functional expression. The dysfunctional expression of the Knight of Pentacles is stagnancy, not moving forward at all, not making any progress, kind of digging your heels in or pumping the brakes when you could be moving forward, or taking too long. Whereas the functional expression of it is taking your time strategically. It's planning, it's organizing, it's making sure that you have all the resources you need, that the action that you're going to be taking or the journey that you're going on is sustainable for you. And it feels like you've come to almost like some kind of an impasse in November where you've been successful overall, but it's like you're not exactly where you want to be, because it's almost I'm almost getting this energy of like, be careful what you wish for. It's like it might come in a way that you didn't expect, or it might show up in a way that you're not fully at ease with. So this is kind of why there might be some indication towards kind of pumping the brakes, or making things kind of stop a little bit. And you're doing this subconsciously as a way to kind of like protect yourself, but also as a way to test yourself, to see that you're worthy of what it is that you're trying to achieve, or that you have achieved here. Which is strange, because it's like you don't really need to prove to anybody that you're worthy of it, but it's like you're trying to prove it to yourself that you're worthy of it. So you're kind of like holding off on really enjoying the moment. Why, Sagittarius? Why? The outcome energy you guys have, the potential outcome here, is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. This is emotional contentment, self-sufficiency. It's having more than enough and feeling really happy and contented. But I also just got the word complacent. And so that kind of makes sense here. It's almost like, I feel like there's two groups of you, okay? And it's like there's this very clear divide, and that's why I'm getting confused, is because there's these two distinct energies that are kind of the opposite of each other. And energy is neutral, and it's kind of, it can play out in one way or the other. So it might be some of you are in one camp and some of you are in the other. The one camp is that you are successful this month in something you've been working on for a long time. You've had a lot of patience in building whatever this is, and you've made some sacrifices to get to this point, and you get to that end goal and you're just very satisfied and happy with what you've created. But at the same time, there's this sense of, it's not exactly what I thought it would be, or it's like, now what? You know, it's like you finally achieve that goal, you finally do that thing that you've been focusing all your energy on, and it's like, okay, well, now what? And so it's not like you're pumping the brakes. It's like there's this sort of plateau where you're just like, well, where do I go now? What do I do now? What's my new dream? What's my new goal? You just kind of don't know what to do with yourself, is what it feels like. And then there's the other camp, which is you guys have been working really hard towards achieving something, and you have, but now you're feeling as though you don't deserve it. So it's kind of the same sort of thing playing out, but with very different ways of emotionally or energetically experiencing it. So this other camp, you guys are kind of like, I feel like subconsciously I don't really deserve what it is that I've achieved, or it's not quite in the way that I thought it was. So I'm going to kind of put the brakes on it and try to test myself even more, because I'm not fully satisfied with where I'm at, or I don't feel like I'm worthy of being satisfied where I'm at. So I hope that that makes sense in context of this month. As you go back and you listen to this later, maybe see how this played out, because that's just what I'm getting. But you guys deserve to be happy with what you have. You deserve to be content with what you've created for yourself, because it has been a journey, right? I see that here. Like you guys have been on a journey for a while, and you've put in some serious work here. So you deserve to take a minute and congratulate yourself and spend some time enjoying what it is that you've created, all of your wishes coming true and being fulfilled, even if it's not exactly in the way that you expected, or even if when you get there you feel a little bit confused about where to go or whether or not you deserve it. Just put all of that on the outside, just push that away for a minute and focus on the fact that you deserve to be there, that you've created this, and that you are worthy. Okay, so let's pull a final oracle card from the angels to see what last message would like to come through for you guys in November. So for Sagittarius, November 2021. You have giving and receiving. So the entire universe operates in cycles similar to your inhalations and exhalations. When you only exhale, i.e. give, or you only inhale, i.e. receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energy, and replenishment, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation. Okay, so what I'm taking from this in conjunction with the rest of the reading that's come through for you guys is that you've been in a period of exhalation for a long time. You've been give. And now that you're in the period where it's time, you've gotten to your goal, you've achieved something, and it's time for you then to inhale, to receive, you're kind of like, oh, but that doesn't feel comfortable, but that doesn't feel, you know, normal to me, because you've been in that exhale for so long. But you do need to take it in and then breathe it out, right? There's that balance there. That's what that Temperance card is kind of hinting at there. It's like one is an inhale, one is an exhale, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. So take this month to inhale, to receive, to really step into the embodiment of what it feels like to receive. And that might be uncomfortable for some of you, or even all of you, but it's part of balancing this energy. It's part of appreciating the work that you've done and the worthiness that you inherently have within you, and that you inherently are. Okay, you are worthy of this happiness, of your wishes coming true, and of being satisfied with what you've created. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, guys. That's what I have for you in November, Sagittarius. If you guys would like to book a reading with me, I do tarot readings, Reiki sessions, and Akashic readings. You can check that out in the link below. My website is www.2kittyandbeyond.com. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I post my thoughts, my memes, my all sorts of random things. You can check that out at 2kittyandbeyond. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, to stick around for more content. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next month. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your November 2021 reading. This is for Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or if you just felt called to click on this part of the reading, then it's for you. Keep in mind this is general, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, Capricorn, let's go ahead and jump into your reading and see what energies are coming through for November 2021. So what is the overall energy for Capricorn in the month of November? You guys have the Six of Swords. Okay, what is the obstacle or the challenge for Capricorn to overcome this month? Wheel of Fortune. Okay, what is the advice and guidance from Spirit? Oh, wow. Just flew right over top of both of those cards that I have on the table thus far. So you guys have the Seven of Swords in the advice and guidance. Interesting. And what is the overall, I didn't even finish asking the question. The potential energy, or the overall sort of outcome energy, is coming up as the Sun card. Beautiful finish to the reading. This is potential energy. Keep that in mind. So it's not set in stone, but it is something that you can tap into if you choose to. So Capricorn, your overall energy for the month of November is coming up as the Six of Swords. So this is the overarching energy for the month. And Six of Swords is like moving out of an area that was emotionally turbulent, or that was causing you mental stress and strife, and saying, you know, I'm done with that. I'm ready to move to a different place, location, mental space, whatever it is, to be able to have a little bit more peace and tranquility. So I feel like that's something that you guys are striving towards in the month of November, and that you will be taking action towards as well. So the Six of Swords is you guys taking action towards getting to that place. It's doing something physically or practically that will get you out of the situation that you were in before. The challenge this month, though, feels like fate might be working, I don't want to say against you, because it's not against you, it's for you. It's working for you, but just not in a way that you feel really comfortable with. You know, it's like when we don't listen to that sort of buildup of guidance that we get along the path of our intuition, leading us to a particular destination for our highest good. If we kind of bypass that a little bit, or don't fully step into it and surrender to that, and we allow the ego to sort of direct what it is that we do and how we operate, it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just that you might get to a place where there's some changes that need to be made to get you into alignment, and you kind of have to do it all at once. It's like that shocking sort of upheaval that can come about, but it's fate redirecting you for a very specific reason. It's because you're meant to be here when you might be here, right? So it's a repositioning, it's a redirection or a refocus. And I feel like that's something that's a little challenging for you guys this month. In November, you might feel like your luck is changing. This could be a good thing, or it could be something that you don't experience as a good thing, right? Everything is neutral, but this could be something that feels challenging because it's coming up in the challenge position. However, like I always say, challenges are opportunities for growth. So this is an opportunity for you to learn from this energy, to grow from this energy, to expand with this energy. And the Wheel of Fortune can be a very beneficial, supportive type of a card, because it's talking about the cycles and the turning of the wheel when it comes to luck, chance, fate, and how you can kind of work with that. And when you work with that, you basically, what you do is you align your will with your higher will, because your higher will is the one that's directing the fate. So if you're going against and pushing against your higher will, you can experience some difficulties or some challenges. You might come up against a lot of brick walls or have things that you've built crumble beneath your feet. And it's because you're driving from a place of your individual will rather than your higher will unified through you. So the advice and guidance here you have is the Seven of Swords. Now, this is an interesting card to get in the advice position, because the Seven of Swords is, to me, it's like a very sort of contradictory type of energy. It's self-sabotaging, it's sneaky, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Deceptive. There we go. It's deceptive. And I don't like that, but it's coming up in the advice position. So it's almost like pay attention to where it is that you're trying to go and whether or not the way that you're doing that is actually aligned with you. Pay attention to what your motivations are when it comes to the direction that you're trying to move. So why are you trying to do that? What is the underlying motivation? Is that motivation actually aligned with your higher will, or is it not? So for example, a choice that's made from the ego to, wanting fame and success for the sake of fame and success, that can be really coming from the ego, not from the higher self, because wanting fame and success usually from that ego perspective comes from a place of lack. There's validation that's being sought, there's recognition, there's appreciation, there's some kind of feeling of belonging that's being sought through that. But you going there for that purpose or taking that road to get there, it's not necessarily aligned. Whereas if you were to go from a different direction, you'd still go to the same location, but you're taking a different road. And that road is the one that's governed by the higher self. And that's the road of what energy you're approaching it with in terms of how aligned that is. So what I mean by that is that road, the other road, the higher road, is you seeking fame and success for the sake of living your authentic expression, for helping lots of people, for allowing yourself to be in your full power and to support others and inspire others to be in theirs. So, and you can have both of those be there present at the same time. You could have that higher will be directing you, and at the same time still experience some of that the lower will or the ego self coming into play. So it's not like they're mutually exclusive. They can kind of exist simultaneously. But I feel like for you guys this month, Capricorn, it's kind of about finding the motivations behind your actions, behind your goals, behind what it is that you're trying to create, and bringing that back to a place where it's more aligned with that higher will, and taking it back almost even further to like where you were in childhood, right? What were your motivations in childhood? Children don't play to be successful. They don't play, they don't want to be popular for the sake of being popular, in their very young stages. They want to have fun. They just want to have a positive experience. They just want to connect. They just want to express themselves authentically. They just want to be free. And I feel like a little bit of the motivations for what you've been wanting have been a little bit distorted by some of that lower will. And now it's just about shedding light on that and bringing awareness to that so you can reconnect with that higher will, with the greater purpose, with the actual sort of motivating factors that are aligned with you. Because the end goal is aligned no matter what. And ultimately it looks like they're going to the same place. That's what I'm seeing anyway. But it's just the road that you take to get there. Is it aligned or is it not? And the reason why that matters is because the end result, the location that you're trying to go to, will be, your experience of it will be impacted by the road you take. So it's the same location, but you might experience it differently. If you come from the low road going with the ego, you might feel a sense of lack when you get there because you've been trying to fill that void, and the ultimate goal when you get there, it doesn't do it. Whereas if you're trying to go from that higher perspective, using the higher will's road, when you get to the end destination, it feels very satisfying. And there's room to really enjoy that in a very sort of innocent, childlike way. So in November, basically just take a look at your motivations and how those align or maybe misalign with the way that you're kind of going about things, the actions you're taking, and how this may be serving you or not serving you. And you also want to take a look at what information or feedback you're getting from the universe. Like what is happening around you to either support you or to kind of redirect you. So pay attention to that as well, because there's probably going to be some fated things happening in November for you. We're going into eclipse season in November. The full moon is an eclipse. So the eclipse portals are times of great fated change. So if we are meant to do something, if we're meant to meet someone, if we're meant to be in a certain place, the eclipses will bring that energy in. And sometimes, like I said, if we are not on the road that is best aligned with our higher expression, then the disruption that those eclipses bring can be much larger. Whereas if we are in alignment and we're on that higher road, the eclipses will bring in fated opportunities, good luck, synchronicities, and sort of, what's the word? It starts with an S. Serendipity. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so serendipity. It feels like things will be much more serendipitous rather than like chaotic and kind of things blowing up in a way that you didn't expect. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting for you in the month of November. Let's see what final messages the angels want to bring to you for this month. So for Capricorn, November 2021. You got time to go. The sun sets and rises each day, and it is the same with the avenues in your life. Avenues in your life! What was I saying? It's like pathways, avenues. Okay, see the beauty within each sunset in your life, and know that the sun will also rise again tomorrow. The sun will rise again tomorrow. And endings are merely the start of a new beginning. And we are with you through each phase and cycle. So the angels are saying, again, cycles are being emphasized. The sun setting on a particular cycle and rising on another one in the month of November and going forward. And choosing those avenues that are aligned with you and allowing the avenue that you're taking, the travel that you're making, wherever direction you're trying to go, just make sure that the path you're taking is aligned with you, with your higher self, with that. Ultimately, how to access or to connect to your higher self is just to go from the heart. Always bring it back to the heart. Is it from a place of love? Is it from a place of abundance? Is it from a place of genuine inspiration, joy, unconditional love, enthusiasm, empowerment? That's how you'll be able to sort of discern whether the road you're on is aligned or not. Okay, so maybe there's something that needs to end this month. It could be time to go. There's cycles and change, but that sun will rise. It's right there for you, and I love that. So Capricorn, that is your monthly reading for November. I really hope that this helped you. If you guys would like to book a reading with me, you can check out the information on my website. The link is in the description box below. It's www.2kittyandbeyond.com. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's @2kittyandbeyond. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stick around for more content. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your November monthly reading. This is for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever called you here to this reading. It's general, so keep in mind that and just take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, Scorpio, let's go ahead and look into the energies that you guys are working with in the month of November. You guys have the Queen of Cups, so that's very Scorpionic energy. That's you guys coming up loud and clear. And also happy birthday to any Scorpios born in the month of November. So this Queen of Cups energy is very bold, very psychic is the energy that I'm getting from her. Also very empathic and connected. The challenge you guys are working with in the month of November is coming up with the Justice energy. So there could be something to do with balance or fairness that feels like a bit of a challenge for you this month. Let's see what the advice and guidance is from Spirit in regard to the month of November for Scorpio. You guys have the Seven of Cups as the advice and guidance. And what is the potential outcome? Keep in mind, potential outcomes are just that, potentials. So you get to choose how you work with this energy, how you embody it, and how it plays out. Every energy is malleable. Nothing is set in stone. So you guys have the Eight of Cups reversed in the outcome position. Okay, Scorpio, so let's take a look at this. First of all, you've got Three Cups cards, which is an indication that November is going to have a lot of sort of emotional content to it. And starting off with the overall energy being very much in your vibration. So I feel like this month is going to be the overall focus is on you and your emotions. How do you feel? What is going on in that emotional body realm that is seeking to be brought to your awareness? And where and how can you encourage that process to take place? The Queen of Cups is this beautiful, sensitive, empathic, compassionate, grounded, mature type of receptive feminine energy. Whether male or female, the feminine polarity is receptive, creative, intuitive, connected, seeing the connections of all things and being able to look at things in a more holistic perspective or point of view. So you guys this month, you are natural deep divers. You are a water sign that's very similar to like a fire sign. Like you're the fieriest water sign. And although you've got a lot of water here and no fire, the reason I bring that up is because fire is about transformation. And water is about malleability, mutability, changeability. But you guys are a fixed water sign, so it's a little bit more rigid than some other water expressions. But I think that this is a big kind of boon for you this month. That's what I heard. I would never use that word normally, so it's like it's a boon. I think that means that it's something that is beneficial to you. It's something that is a benefit of some kind. So the Queen of Cups being in that grounded, watery energy, while at the same time focusing on transformation and rebirth. That's what I'm really seeing here for this month. That's why I brought up the fire and the fixed sign energies, because you guys you're transforming something with the natural, grounded, yet emotionally connected and higher realm energy that you guys have access to. So I see you guys focusing on something really intently this month as well. They're kind of emphasizing the fact that she's like staring at this cup, like she's so focused on it. So you guys might be focusing really intently on something this month, really trying to see the details within the situation to discern the value of it. Interesting. Yeah, because it's like she's appraising this cup. So you guys are appraising something that you are being shown or that you're experiencing. The challenge this month is the Justice card, and Justice does have a sort of sense of appraisal, but it's not appraising based on worth. It's appraising based on what is fair, what is just, what is balanced, and what is, I don't even know if the word equanimous is a word, but that's what I just heard in my head. It equates, it balances, it's equal. So this Justice card for you guys this month is in the challenge position. So it might be a little bit more challenging for you this month to find balance when it comes to what is fair, what is just. You might feel as though there are some restrictions that are impeding you from really stepping into this emotional connectivity that you are striving for, that you're being called towards. I feel like this is kind of like this emotional cup is being placed in your hands by the divine, is what I'm seeing. So this is a gift that you guys naturally have. This is your ability to tap into the unconscious, to dive deep into the shadow realm and to be reborn. This is what the scorpionic energy represents. It's the eagle, it's the phoenix, it's the scorpion. You guys are all about rebirth and renewal. And this energy of this Queen of Cups is really like, it's so intense. And you guys are intense, right? Scorpio, wherever this sits in your chart, there's intensity in the scorpionic energy. So this intensity is really what I'm feeling. And this justice or lack thereof is kind of creating or exaggerating that intensity. So the advice and guidance you have for the month of November is the Seven of Cups. So it's like, again, she's got this one cup and she's hyper focused on it. She's intent on it. She's not looking at anything else. She's analyzing, she's scrutinizing, she's appraising, all of those things I mentioned before. And the same thing is happening with the Seven of Cups, but in a different way. The Seven of Cups is like, well, there's more than one cup that you're focusing on. There's 7 of them. And it's discerning which one is the right one for you and why. And I think that's why there's this challenge here with justice. It's trying to create balance. It's trying to come to some kind of a decision. And in the emotional body, it's like this decision feels a little bit overwhelming is what I just heard, because there's this intensity that's being kind of exacerbated, exaggerated, blown out of proportion. Yeah, there's hyperbolic sort of hyper focus. It's like everything is hyper everything in this month for you guys. So everything is like to the 100th degree. It's not like down here at like 1 or 2. You guys are on max in November is what I'm sensing. So the Seven of Cups as guidance, as advice from Spirit is, I think, asking you to focus in, to hone in, and to get really clear on your ability to discern based on your intuition. So use your psychic abilities, because Scorpio, whether you realize it or not, you are psychic and you have the ability to tap into extrasensory information, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairgustance, clairalience, all of these different extrasensory senses that you can use that information to better assess what you value most and what you want to invest your time and focus and energy into. That's what the guidance is here. Now, the potential outcome you guys have is the Eight of Cups reversed. So Scorpio, there's going to be an opportunity for you to reassess all of what we've been talking about in this reading, and that might lead you to making some changes. That might lead you to wanting to walk away from something that is not aligned with you emotionally anymore, or this might lead you to gain some information psychically, intuitively, that sheds some clarity on something that has been stuck for a while. Some of you might be walking away from something that is stuck or stagnated, and some of you might be incorporating more of something that you want instead of kind of, some of you are kind of minusing something out and some of you are adding something in. It could even be a little bit of both, but I get the sense that this Eight of Cups is not so much like a walking away type of energy when it comes to an ending. It's more so you're walking towards something. So again, that's just a perspective shift, but I feel like it's what you're focusing on, and you are very intent on this one cup. And the 7, you're trying to decide which one it is, and if it's not there, then you're going to move forward with the 8 to try and find that one. So, you know, trust your gut, trust your intuition, listen to your higher guidance, tune in to your psychic abilities, because you guys are very extra sensitive this month. Your senses are going to be heightened to the nth degree, and you might have already noticed this starting in October, and then you will really see how you can tap into and use that in the month of November. So let's get a final card from the angels for you guys for the month of November. Oh my God. I love it when they confirm what it is that I'm picking up on in such a really nice sort of capsuled way, or encapsulated. Yeah. So you got to notice the signs, Scorpio. Yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you're loved and that you're never alone. So this really ties into what I was saying about tuning into your intuition, looking at the symbols, the synchronicities, the signs, using that extrasensory perception. And even if it's not doing it psychically, like in your own mind or feeling it in your body, even if it's just paying attention to symbols and synchronicities and things that repeat, things that are clearly being sent to you by the divine, by your higher self, by your guides, etc., whatever you want to identify it as. There's information coming in. There's messages that are trying to come to you, but they're not coming to you, they're coming through you, and they're being perceived by this extrasensory ability to see below the surface. So I hope that that helps in the month of November, Scorpio. Don't forget to like the video if you did enjoy this reading, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of these going forward. Also, if you'd like to book a session with me, I do tarot, Reiki, and Akashic readings. The link is below to my website, www.2kittyandbeyond.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at 2kittyandbeyond. Thanks so much for stopping by, for being here for the reading. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next month. Bye. All right, hi Virgo, welcome to your November 2021 monthly reading. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or whatever called you here to this video. Keep in mind, these are general readings, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, Virgo, let's go ahead and look into your energies for the month of November. So for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what is the overall energy that is coming through in the month of November? Ooh, Virgo, you guys have the Lovers card. Ooh, what's going on in November? What is the challenge or the obstacle to overcome this month? Page of Swords, maybe some communication issues. What is the advice and guidance from Spirit? King of Swords reversed. And what is the potential outcome? Keep in mind that this is just potential, and that you get to choose how you work with this energy through the month and what that then creates for you. You guys have the Seven of Swords and the Death card in the outcome energy. Okay, so Virgo, what is going on? You guys have the Lovers card as your overall energy. So this is I just got the word Gemini as well. So if you have Gemini in your cart, shopping cart. If you have Gemini in your chart, or if you are dealing with a Gemini person, this could be an indication or a confirmation of that here. So this Lover's energy is very much to do with some kind of a decision, but I'm also feeling this connected to communication. It's almost like deciding how to communicate, or what next step to take, or how to connect in some type of a way. I feel like there's some cloudiness around this connection, if this is a relationship that we're looking at here. But let's look at the obstacle you guys have. So the obstacle, the challenge, is the Page of Swords. But like I say, I like to look at challenges as opportunities for growth. So this Page of Swords energy is coming in to kind of shed light, or to illuminate you in areas where there has been sort of like an immature type of communication, where there has been a little bit of haughtiness. I heard the word haughtiness, like being a bit haughty, a little bit standoffish, a little bit triggered easily, and then the resulting communication kind of devolving from there. So that's the obstacle or the challenge. You guys might face some sort of immature communication within your relationships this month. It doesn't have to be just romantic relationships. It can be family, friends, coworkers. It can even be like with the general public. There might just be some kind of clashing of swords is what I'm seeing here in the month of November. However, the opportunity with this challenge is to see things from a different perspective. It's to kind of gain some deeper clarity or insight into why other people are operating the way that they are, and therefore why, and also I should say, why you are operating the way that you are. Because the advice and guidance you have is the King of Swords. So lots of mental energy, lots of air energy in your reading, Virgo. So there could be, you know, themes to do with communication or lack thereof, and how you're thinking about that, or what you're allowing to kind of govern your thoughts in regard to this type of communication with this partner or with this person. The King of Pentacles, the King of Swords in reverse is basically telling us that the advice that you're getting here is to listen to your own intuitive guidance. And that may have been a little bit blocked up, or you may have been really externalizing sort of the guidance that you've been seeking or receiving from the outside. You know, you might be looking for information online, or you might be looking for information or advice from other people, or you might be, you know, seeking clarity through external means. And what I'm feeling from this King of Swords reversed in the advice position is to go inward. Everything you need is on the inside of you already, and you can get confirmation of that from other people. You can get confirmation of that from this reading. You can get confirmation of that from Google, but ultimately it's only ever confirmation of what's already there. So having new insight, it's not actually new. It's something that you've known all along, but you're just bringing to your conscious awareness. That's what I'm feeling really applying to this relationship in the month of November. So get clear on your own thoughts and your own needs and how you want to effectively, consciously communicate that with a partner or with somebody in your life whom this situation is occurring with. And once that happens, once you're clear and once you are coming at it from a very sort of logical perspective, it's going to make things a lot easier for the other person to understand and to accept. Now, the outcome energy that you guys have is the Seven of Swords and the Death card. These are challenging energies as the outcome, but I mean, I've been saying since the beginning, November is a challenging energy, and the Death card is Scorpio, and we are in Scorpio season for most of November. So the bulk of this energy is going to show up in transformation of some kind, because the Death card is transformation. It's not an ending per se, it's a cycle completing and then transforming into something new. So yes, that is an ending, but every ending is also a new beginning. So this Death card is an indication that something needs to change in the way that you've been communicating with people, or the way that you've been allowing yourself to interpret and receive information. So the Seven of Swords is probably my least favorite card in the deck, not just because it's deceptive and it's sneaky and it's sometimes, you know, just it's hurtful. Like, it can be hurtful. It can be this energy of betrayal and things like that. But this coming up with the Death card, it's like this way of doing things, or this way of interpreting communication, or this way of resorting back to other ways of communicating like this that clearly don't benefit you or the people that you are connected to. That needs to end. That's ready to end. This is coming up into your conscious awareness because you are ready to shift this cycle, because you don't want to communicate like that anymore, and because you know it doesn't work for you. So this is that maturity that you're gaining from a place of maybe a little bit more lack of clarity or lack of maturity when it comes to thinking and communicating. And that's just part of growth, right? We all go from a state of immature to mature, and there's varying degrees of that depending on the area of life that we're talking about. Somebody can be very emotionally mature, but maybe mentally not so much, or the other way around. Or somebody can be really fiscally responsible and financially stable and mature in that sense, but really struggle with some of the open and authentic communication tactics, and that can be showing up in the less mature realm. So just because we're adults doesn't mean that we're automatically mature in every area and aspect of our life. That's just not how it works. We are constantly we are constantly growing, we are constantly learning, we are constantly evolving, and that's in different areas of our whole self, as well as the entirety of who and what we are. So let's get an angel card to close out your reading and to see if there are any other specific messages that the angels would like you to know for the month of November. So for Virgo, November 2021, what final messages do you have here? All right, you have the acceptance card and family. Yeah, so this could be your family. This could be, you know, your partner, whom is also, like, I would consider that family. And you have acceptance as the first card. So see yourself and others through the eyes of the angels with unconditional love and acceptance. In this way, you inspire and lift everyone to their highest potential. So it feels like maybe there was something that was a little bit harder to accept. Maybe you were being a little bit more rigid in that area than was needed, or that was, you know, really necessary within this relationship. So accepting that other person as they are and communicating with the intent of understanding rather than of being understood can also be really beneficial to this relationship or to this connection. And then you have the family card. This situation is rooted in an emotional experience with a family member, which we can help you to understand and heal. In your mind and heart, surround this person, yourself, and the experience with calming blue light and many angels. Be open to the gifts within the situation and allow yourself to feel peace. Yeah, so this is rooted in some kind of familial or relationship connection. And like I said, it's like there's some kind of a challenge or situation or miscommunication or a lack of understanding on both sides or on one side or whatever it is. But there's definitely been some conflict here. And this is ready to come to an end now. And to do that, it is through acceptance. Because what do we do when death comes a-knocking? Well, we have to accept it. We cannot resist death. It is a natural evolutionary part of existing. Everything dies and then is reborn. So we have to accept those natural cycles of life. I don't think that this is necessarily literal. It's more metaphorical in the acceptance of the other person's mind, the way that their mind works or the way that they communicate or what concepts they're trying to communicate to you. Accepting that, understanding that, and coming from that place of compassion and love, and asking for support if you need it from the angels, from, you know, maybe even like a couples counselor or some kind of an external source that can bring you awareness of what's going on internally. Right? So instead of seeking that external validation or support or communication or information just for the sake of it, it's like you're actually doing it with the intention or the focus of understanding the internal and the machinations that are contributing to this connection. All right, guys, so that is your reading for November, Virgo. I really hope that this helped and that this resonated. If it did, don't forget to like this video. It really helps me out and I appreciate you, so thank you for doing that. And subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more readings such as this, as well as lots of other fun spiritual content. Also, check out the link in the description box below if you guys would like to book a reading with me. I do tarot, Reiki, and Akashic readings, and that's all on my website now, ready for booking. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. If you are on Instagram, I'm at 2kittyandbeyond. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time. Bye. All right, hi Leo. Welcome to your November 2021 reading. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Venus. Whatever brought you here today, just keep in mind that these are general readings, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, Leo, let's take a look at what's coming up for you in the month of November 2021. Oh, it's this one. I was going to keep shuffling, and they said take it. And I love it. You guys got the star card. My favorite card in the deck. I love the star card. So let's take a look at the obstacle that you guys have, or the challenge that you guys will be dealing with in the month of November. Yeah, that's a challenging energy for sure. The 9 of Swords. What is the advice and guidance from Spirit? You got the 10 of Wands in the advice position. And what is the potential outcome? Keep in mind, potential outcomes are just that, potentials. Every energy and outcome is within your control. So it's important that you work with the energy in a way that serves you best. And you have the Chariot card as the potential outcome. Well, you know what? Overall, Leo, this is not a bad reading. This month has been sort of a challenging energy for most of the signs. And I think the only other sign that had like an okay, sort of less challenging reading was Sagittarius, which is your fellow sister fire sign. So Leo, let's take a look a little bit deeper as to the energy that you guys are working with in the month of November. Overall energy, that's the overarching energy for November, is the Star card. The reason I love the Star card so much is because it indicates new hope and a time of healing after you've been through something difficult or challenging. So it's this renewal, it's this brief respite where you're able to kind of regroup, heal, kind of analyze where it is that you're going and what you want to be doing, and then it gives you like the light at the end of the tunnel so you can see where you're trying to go, so that you have this renewed sense of hope and optimism around something that maybe has been very challenging and maybe even painful for you. So this energy really, I see you guys, it's like you have a wish. It's wishing upon a star, right? You have this wish and it has seemed very out of reach for a really long time. But the star is coming in here to renew your hope and faith that this wish actually is possible. And even more so than that, it's right on your doorstep. It's whether or not you are seeing it and whether or not you're willing to receive it. There is still a little bit more work to do to get to that point, even if it's just a couple of feet to open the door and pick up that package of the wish that Amazon has delivered to you, right? It's, we're thinking about the universe in terms of Amazon. You don't doubt that a package is going to come, right? You make that order and then you just sit back and wait, and you get updates on whether or not it's on its way or not. So it's not like you go into extreme panic and fear around when is it coming, what's happening with it. Because you trust, first of all, that it's just good business for them to deliver what you've ordered to you, but also that you don't have to stress about it, because doing that is not going to make it come any faster. If anything, stressing about it might influence the energy of it into pushing it away. So maybe there's a delay in the delivery or something like that. So this is about kind of taking the focus off of exactly when it is that what you want is going to arrive, and focusing more so on what you can do, both energetically and practically, to welcome it to you or to continue to move towards it. So this Nine of Swords is a challenging energy. The Nine of Swords is stress, it's sleepless nights, it's anxiety. It can also be connected to PTSD. It's like things from the past that kind of keep recurring for you in your subconscious arena or in terms of how you see the world. So it can be a very challenging mental energy to traverse through. But I do see that you guys have some semblance of comfort that's coming in, because they're drawing my eye particularly to the comforter, the blanket that is on this person. And so there's comfort there. Yes, there's maybe some things that your mind is saying to you that are out of your comfort zone or that are causing anxiety, and there's fear there. But the opportunity within this challenge is to start to perceive or redirect your focus to areas where you have the support, to areas where you have the comfort that you need, or focusing on that respite rather than on all of the things that led up to it, right? Because the star card comes after the Tower, and the Tower is when chaotic energy strikes and everything goes to shit. Excuse my French. But the Star card is, like I said, it's that renewal, it's hope, it's the healing after the storm, it's the calm after the storm and the sunshine breaking through the clouds. Yes, you're still surveying all of the carnage of whatever took place in the storm or during the night, but you can then move on and rebuild. It takes a little while to mentally get out of that space of chaos and destruction. And that's why this fear and this anxiety and this PTSD is here. It's because there's still unprocessed mental and emotional content connected to what you've been through up until this point. But it's time to let that go. Leo, it's time to let that go, because it's not serving you to hold on to it. It's not actually protecting you. It's not keeping you safe. If anything, it's pushing away what it is that you're trying to move towards, or what it is that is trying to be delivered to you. So the advice here from Spirit is the 10 of Wands. It's like, put down the burdens. You're carrying a lot, Leo, much more than you need to. It feels like you put a lot of responsibilities and obligations on your own shoulders, and you perceive it as the world. You're carrying the world on your back, but the world never asked you to do that. You asked you to do that. You told you to do that. Or maybe one person in the past told you, but you internalized it. You know what I mean? It's like, this is stuff that you're doing to yourself now, and it's weighing you down, it's keeping you heavy, it's stressing you out, clearly. And it doesn't need to be that way, because you do have opportunity for freedom, for liberation, for growth, for expansion, for your wishes coming true and moving into a much more successful period of your life. November feels challenging, but it also has a lot of opportunity here. The potential outcome energy you guys have is the Chariot card, and the Chariot is success, movement forward. I just heard indomitable spirit, and this is what the Star card is all about. That's why I love it. It's like, no matter what you've been through, your indomitable spirit will prevail. You will continue to move forward. You will learn to balance and course correct with both the light and the shadow within you. You will learn to control both of those aspects so that you can get moving forward again. Because if either of these horses or these sphinxes are going in opposite directions, you're really not going anywhere. So, and I feel like that's what's been happening with that 10 of Wands energy. It's like, you haven't really been going anywhere because you've just kind of been spinning your wheels, stretching yourself too thin, and there was anxiety and fear and all of these other things going on that were kind of pulling you in separate directions. It's like, you're trying to go this way, but that's pulling you back, or you're trying to go this way and that's pushing you back as well. So it's like you weren't able to actually get anywhere. So this month, it's actually a good thing, Leo. I feel like this is actually going to be a month where there's potential for breakthroughs. We have eclipse season in the full moon, which is, I think it's around the 24th. I'll put it on the screen if I can find the actual date that it is, but it's the full moon and it's an eclipse. So this is an opportunity from the universe coming in, because eclipses are very fated type of energy. They redirect you, they support you, whatever it is that you need to be on the path or in the alignment that is going to be best suited for you at this given time. So there's going to be some kind of support that's coming in. There's going to be some kind of a redirection, but it will be to release some of this stress. It will be there to release some of these burdens and obligations that you've been holding on to, that you really don't need to continue to carry. All right, Leo, so let's grab a final oracle card from the angels to see what final messages they have for you. Leo in November 2021. You guys have the Ocean card. The deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. The ocean is coming up for you guys to tap into that cleansing and healing energy. The ocean has a natural healing ability to it. Whether you're close to an ocean and you can go there to unwind and de-stress and let go and see the vastness of that water and see how far it goes, and to realize how small you are in comparison to that, and how small your problems may be in comparison to that vastness of the ocean, or even of space as well. This ocean energy I also see being an indication to tap into some of those subconscious emotional realms. Use that healing energy of water to cleanse you and to bring awareness to some of the emotional things that you've kind of been sitting on and that have been weighing as responsibilities, or things that you've taken on that aren't sitting well with you stress-wise, so that you can keep moving forward, shed things that don't work, and create some change that's really beneficial for you moving forward, because the 10 of Wands is closure, endings, and change, bringing opportunities for growth in new beginnings. So the ocean might be something that can help you to kind of tune into or tap into the healing that you need. Maybe there's some insight that comes when you're meditating to ocean sounds or connecting with the water in some way. Even just take a bath. Take a healing or ritual bath of some kind that can really cleanse your energy and remove some of this stagnancy that you guys have here with the 9 and 10 of swords and wands respectively. Okay, so that's it for the month of November. I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. If you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is in the description box below this video. It's www.2kittyandbeyond.com. And if you guys would like to follow me on Instagram for some additional content, you can at 2kittyandbeyond. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's more content to come. Much love, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. Hi Aquarius, welcome to your November 2021 monthly reading. Let's go ahead and jump into your cards and see what energies you guys are working with this month. So keep in mind that this is a general reading. Not everything is going to apply to everyone. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. What is the overall energy for the month of November? You guys have the 7 of Pentacles. And what is the obstacle or challenge that Aquarius will be facing in the month of November? Page of Wands. What is the advice? Wow, these really slamming out of there. The 4 of Pentacles is your advice and guidance from Spirit. And what is the potential outcome, or potential energy outcome of the month of November for Aquarius? Queen of Wands. Okay, so Aquarius, you guys have Earth and fire here. So you guys might be working with something to do with a project or something financially. So wands really speak to me of career, projects, hobbies, creative, expressions, things that you do financially as well. With the Pentacles energies here, this could be to do with money, career, finances, that kind of thing. So the overall energy you guys have for the month is the 7 of Pentacles. So this is kind of working with what you've got is what I'm hearing. So not doing too much, not doing too little. It's like just right. It's like Goldilocks energy type of thing. So instead of trying to perfect something, it's like work with what you have and create with what you've got to make something that's, I don't want to say good enough, but like it's good enough. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to necessarily be perfect, because I feel like what you've been striving for is to have it be perfect. This perfectionism energy is actually what I'm getting from this 7 of Pentacles, which is not an energy that I normally get from this card. So that is an indication that there's something specific here for this reading and for you guys, Aquarius. So leaving behind that perfectionism and needing to create something that's perfect, going with something that it can be just right, but still not be perfect. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're working with what you've got and you're creating something that's good enough, and that can be just right. It doesn't have to be exactly how you've imagined it to be or what you've expected it to look like. So this 7 of Pentacles is kind of urging you this month in November to be happy with what you have created, and to take a little bit of the pressure off yourself in terms of seeing it be exactly what you need it to be, right exactly when you expect it to be there. Okay, and then the Page of Wands in the challenge position. So this is the obstacle to overcome this month. Now, that being said, obstacles are always opportunities for growth. At least that's how I like to look at them. And the Page of Wands here is asking you to kind of reassess the types of things that you're investing your energy into. This page is very explorative. He's very curious. He wants to learn new things. He wants to travel. He wants to expand. He wants to explore. That being said, is that incongruence to what it is that you're trying to create? And is that effective or productive in terms of what you are creating now? If that makes sense. So this Page of Wands is basically saying, reevaluate where you want to go and why you're doing that, to help you to hone in and focus on whether that's actually contributing to the project that you're trying to get off the ground, or whatever it is that you're trying to create results wise. So Aquarius, if you notice that the light has changed, it's because it's starting to get dark and I was using natural light to film, so I just put on a ring light. So yeah, that's why that's happening. Okay, so let's move on to the advice and guidance that you guys have for the month of November. You have the Four of Pentacles. So the advice and guidance here is to kind of stick with what works, right? Yes, there's opportunity for like a little bit of trial and error, but if something works, just keep doing that, right? If it's something that, I get the sense that there's like this curiosity that keeps wanting to pull you into new areas and to try new shiny things and to explore and expand, and like there's this sort of restless type of energy with this Page of Wands, but that's not actually helping you to produce what it is that you want or helping to grow what it is that you want. You know, that Seven of Pentacles energy is like you're trying to grow something, and that sort of, it's either that there's like two kind of groups that I'm picking up on, and there's one group that is very sort of like perfectionistic and you're trying to hone in as much as you can on this one thing, but that's actually creating stagnation in the growth of this, whatever it is that you're creating when it comes to this project or this career or something, you know, even your finances. It's like you're trying to really focus on this one thing, but in doing that, it's taking away from it. And then I see this other group of Aquarians who are trying to do something, and in trying to do that, they're trying to look for the perfect way to do it, and so they're exploring and expanding all of these different options, but in doing so, it's like that's actually kind of distracting from the one thing that you do need to be focusing on. So for either group, really the advice and guidance here is to get a little bit more grounded, and if something is working, just let it do its job, and if something's not working, then yes, you can adjust that, but stick with adding in more of what already works or subtracting what doesn't, instead of kind of spreading yourself too thin when it comes to trying to explore different avenues. Just focus on the skills that you do have is basically what I'm seeing here. And the Four of Pentacles can also be about saving, specifically when it comes to finances. It can be about kind of like making sure that you're not spending frivolously in the month of November, making sure that you are setting aside sort of like a nest egg or a savings or just some kind of a security for you, so that if you for some reason need that, it's going to be there. And that's what that Four of Pentacles can also indicate as well. Maybe you're saving up to travel later when it's available to you or when you can, who knows. But the overall outcome energy you guys have, or the potential outcome energy, is the Queen of Wands. And I love this because the Queen of Wands is a very creative, very action-oriented female fire energy. So Aquarius, tapping into this can look like getting really creative with your hobbies or your projects and putting time into that in a way that builds up more of what you want to see. So instead of kind of spreading yourself thin, doing a bunch of different projects that don't really have a common goal, what I'm getting from this card is to hone all of those aspects into one and use multiple skills that you already have to build a firm foundation for what you want to create going forward. So that's pretty much the gist of what I'm getting for your reading. It's basically, don't get too nitpicky about what it is that you're creating. Try not to get too distracted by different shiny new ways of doing things or projects or hobbies or things like that. Just try to get really focused on what it is that you're doing on a daily basis, your routine, on the practical foundations that you're building. Make sure that you're setting aside some money, put something into savings, maybe even invest in something that's going to bring a return on your investment later on. And that can be both energetically in terms of what you're working on, but also financially, like physically. And that will lead to much more harmony when it comes to the foundation that you're building and the creative project that you're getting off the ground. So this is very boss-like energy, the Queen of Wands. So you're sitting on your throne, you're in your power, you've created what you wanted to create, and now you're basically just tending to it. So there's a lot less work in that state of being. It's more so just being rather than doing, even though she is still action-oriented on what she's maintaining. Okay, so let's take a look at the final messages you guys have from the Oracle, the Angel Oracle deck that I have here. Final closing messages for Aquarius in the month of November 2021. You have Child. Okay, so you care deeply about children and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. Well, this is an interesting card to get. You know, you might be working so hard that you're kind of neglecting your inner child who wants to play or who needs your love. That can also be something that's coming up with this Page of Wands energy that I wasn't picking up on, but now that they're bringing this up, I can see it really clearly. So that's why I love pulling oracle cards. It's good clarity and clarifying on these types of messages. So this Page of Wands energy can be an aspect of your inner child that wants to play, it wants to explore, it wants to try new things, and it's curious, and that's beautiful and innocent and pure. And that might be something that you've kind of been ignoring because you are focused on your obligations, you're focused on saving, you're focused on what you've invested in already, you're focused on projects and growth and being a boss. So take some time for yourself to really embrace and connect with your inner child or your children if you physically have children, because you might be so focused in November on what it is that you're working on that you kind of forget that your children are also part of your focus, or that they need your attention just as much as your project at work, or just as much as your new thing that you're doing with the house or something like that, right? So children are a focus for November as well for you guys. So deeply love yourself, your inner child, and your children, and that will help your projects to grow as well, because balance in all things creates balance in all things. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked the reading, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more content, more readings like this, and so much more. If you guys are interested in booking a personal reading with me, I do tarot readings, I do Reiki sessions, and I do Akashic readings, soul realignment practitioner. So I have the link to my website in the description box below, and it is www.2kittyandbeyond.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at 2kittyandbeyond. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next month. Bye, guys. All right, hi Pisces. Last but certainly not least, let's go ahead and take a look at the energies that you guys are working with in the month of November. So keep in mind that these are general readings, just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, so for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, what is the overall energy for the month of November? You have the Moon card reversed. So the Moon card, that's you guys, Pisces. That is your energy coming up loud and clear here. Let's take a look at the obstacle or the challenge that you guys are working with in the month of November. What is the obstacle or the challenge for Pisces? Ooh. You have a big chunk of cards that came out. Some of them are upright facing and some of them were face down. So I'm going to take the ones that landed with their face up like this. So you got the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. And what is the advice and guidance from Spirit for Pisces in the month of November? Seven of Cups and the advice and guidance. All right. And what is the potential outcome? Nope, that's too many. Just kind of like a big chunk fell out. So I'm going to try that again. Can we get one card for the potential outcome energy for Pisces in the month of November? Oh, that's way better anyway. So you got the Six of Pentacles. Six of Wands in the outcome energy. Keep in mind that the outcome is potential energy only, so it's how you choose to work with this energy that will dictate how it presents throughout the month. So Pisces, the overall energy, the overarching for the month of November is the Moon card in reverse. So this is Piscean energy. It's connected to the moon, the unconscious, the hidden realm, the spiritual realm, the realm of symbolism and synchronicity and magic and all things unseen. This in reverse is kind of speaking to me of some kind of an emotional or subconscious influence that you are currently unaware of. So it feels like there's something that's under the surface that is kind of lurking there and you don't see it. And you will gain some clarity on that. So let's talk a little bit more about how that may show up throughout the month of November. So the obstacle you guys have is the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, and the Page of Pentacles. So this kind of speaks to me of pausing temporarily to reassess your values and what you're investing your energy of all kinds into when it comes to the structures that you live and work within and your current belief systems. There might be something that you need to invest, and I use the word invest very strategically and purposefully there, because it's the Hanged Man can sometimes indicate a sacrifice that needs to be made, but I'm saying it's an investment because that's what I'm getting here from the Page of Pentacles. It might feel like a sacrifice, but it's not, it's an investment. So you're giving something up to get something more. So that's not necessarily a sacrifice type of energy. That to me is an investment. So you're investing in something here when it comes to the structures that you believe in or that you invest a lot of energy in your mind. So this is where that energy from the subconscious might come into play. It's like you have to kind of reassess the belief systems that you hold through the month of November and how that's impacting the choices that you make, the actions that you take, and the results that you're getting from your actions or lack thereof. The advice and guidance from Spirit is the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups is a little bit of a, in some senses, it can be confusion. It's like there's too many options on the table and you're unsure of what is right for you and you don't know which direction to go or what to choose. There's emotional sort of uncertainty around all of these different options and feeling into which one is right and which one isn't. But I also get the sense that the Seven of Cups is talking about kind of like lots of options on the table being a good thing. So it's kind of how you look at it. It's like, is it overwhelming to you? Or is it something that's actually a good thing because you have more room to explore your intuitive knowing of what feels right for you and to exert your free will on the choices that you want to make to live the life that you want to have. So I think this is actually a good thing, but that's my perpetual optimism coming through. You might interpret this differently and that's fine. But this Seven of Cups to me really says, you know what, look, there's lots of different options here. You can choose whatever you want. And that can be either overwhelming or that can be really exciting. It's up to you. So the advice here is to look at your options, explore different things. And when we're talking about some of these challenges here, it could be a new system or structure that you hadn't really thought of before, or maybe this is a new religion or a new type of belief that you hadn't really looked into. It could be that there's like different if we're using like the religious belief, because the Hierophant is here, let's use that as a metaphor. It's like believing in Christianity and only Christianity. It could be a little bit limiting. Maybe you're starting to think, I'm not saying that Christianity is limiting at all, but I'm just saying in this example, maybe that isn't aligned with you anymore. Or maybe that's something that you've been subconsciously kind of starting to lose faith in, or you're looking for something that's more aligned to your current state of consciousness. And so you kind of go looking for different options, like maybe there's like a variation on that Christianity, or there's a different type of religion that will suit you better, like Buddhism or Muslim, or maybe you want to go into the Jewish Orthodox faith. Like there's so many different religions in that kind of construct that we're talking about when it comes to religion. No, it could even be like going completely on the outskirts and going towards an atheist view or a spiritual view or an agnostic. Like there's so many different options on the table, and the Seven of Cups is saying, like look at those options and see which one feels right to you, because what's right for you is always going to feel the most empowering, the most aligned, and what makes sense the most. So that's going to be different for every single one of you. So this is an option that you guys have to discover what is best for you on your own. Now, like I said, there will be a need to kind of give up the old ways of thinking or doing things from the past that don't work for you anymore and may have been kind of limiting you. So it can feel like a bit of a sacrifice because that's what you've grown comfortable with and accustomed to. But really, in reality, it's actually an investment in something new that's going to benefit you much more profoundly in terms of the fact that it just aligns with you better. And the reason I say that it's better for you is because the outcome energy, or the potential outcome here, is the Six of Wands, which is success. This is you really kind of bringing harmony out of something that was chaotic. It's returning home triumphant from the battle. It's like you went through this sort of reassessment, and you reevaluated what is aligned with you and what isn't at this current state of your evolution, and your beliefs can change, and that's okay. I think that we live in a society where there's this idea that we have to have one set of beliefs and stick with that throughout the course of our life to represent that we are in integrity. But that's actually the opposite of how it really works. We are constantly evolving, constantly learning and growing, and as we mature in all different facets of our life, and as we evolve, our beliefs will change. That is a natural process in growth. And so sticking to an old belief that was right for a different version of you from the past, it would actually limit this current version of you that you are now, or that the version of you that you're trying to grow into. So we need to kind of be more malleable. We need to be more fluid with our beliefs, and to support the fluidity of those around us that may be changing their beliefs as well. It's okay to change your beliefs. This is part of the experience of life. We're here to explore duality and all of these different options that our energy can express through and that we can embody. So allow yourself to go through this process of transformation or transition when it comes to what it is that you believed in the past and what it is that is more aligned with your beliefs now. So let's take a look at the angel cards and get a final message for you guys in the month of November. So for Pisces, in the month of November 2021, what is the final message from the angels for my beautiful Pisceans? Final message. Okay. Do we want the third card or just the two? Yeah, take the third card as well. Okay, so you have, what do you desire? You now have the opportunity to write the script according to your heart's true desires. Once you clearly decide upon your true desires and know that you're ready and deserving of them, they'll rush into your life as if by magic. I love that, because this is kind of like, you're deciding upon your true desires. And once you know that you're willing and deserving to invest in those desires, to receive those desires, that's when things will be very, very successful for you. So next card you have, here, let me show that to you so you guys can look at the imagery there. What do you desire? Next you have focus on service. I like this. Your soul desires, here we go again with the desire. You guys, desire is like something. What do you desire? What do you believe in? Wow, I love it. Your soul desires only to joyfully serve and to swim in a constant stream of bliss. This stream continuously feeds you everything that you need. Put your entire focus upon staying in this stream of giving and receiving in every situation and in all that you do. So this is focusing on what you desire, not only what you want to receive, but also what you want to give. And I can see that here with the Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant too. There may have been sort of like a holding phase where you weren't sure what it was that you wanted to give, or what you wanted to speak about, or what you wanted to share, or what service you were going to provide for the world, or just for the people in your life. But I feel like now it's like this month in November, you're kind of reevaluating that. You're reassessing what is of the most service and what is the most aligned with you. What do you desire the most? And it's beautiful because it's got this really nice sort of overtone of how can this be about serving a greater good and aligning with what you desire and receiving to support that. So last card you have is there's nothing to worry about, Pisces. You are safe, and this situation is under the perfect control of divine providence and universal order. Only infuse loving thoughts and emotions into the situation to ensure that the highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. So again, all of this is happening through you. As you can see, he's got this energy coming in through the crown chakra and he's channeling it through him. So this is that energy of the moon coming from the subconscious level. You are channeling energy through you, Pisces. You are a conduit for the divine. You are the bridge. So focus on that service that you guys would like to share with the world, to really hone in on what you desire for yourself and for others. All right, so that is it for the month of November. That's what I have for you. I hope that this helped or that it resonated in some way. If it did, please like and share this video with your fellow Pisceans or anybody else who you think would benefit from the message. And if you are looking to book a service with me, you can check out the new website in the description box below. Just click the link to www.kittyandbeyond.com. I just love saying it. I'll get tired of it eventually, but I'm super stoked about it right now. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye. There's a big Uranus. There's a big Uranus? Is Uranus better or is that worse? Uranus? There's a big Uranus. Oh my God, I just keep saying Uranus. Dude, sorry, there's this dog out the window that's just staring at me. Hello, doggy. Hello. Oh, he's like a chocolate lab. Oh, he just barked because he's like, I want to come over and hang out with you, but I can't. Okay, ADHD, squirrel, or dog in this case. Stay on your Stay on your present path. Okay. This could be somewhere where that I need to eat something. I'm so hungry. Okay. What is that word? What is that word? I don't know. It starts with an S. Oh, I thought I was gonna burp, but I didn't. Oh, sweet Jesus.